practically every one of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove. The Psychedelic Jackets on the record albums have their own hidden.
This is a special question. We don't want you to smoke genetically modified ganja. We want you to smoke the real thing. We want you to smoke the natural herb. Some call it marijuana, some call it sensimedia, some call it lamb's bread, and some people call it ganja.
Welcome to another edition of the Adam Dunn Show. I am your host, Adam Dunn, and in the studio, live, we have. Forget about that guy at the end. He's not. He's not.
Dave's not here.
Dave is not here. Dave is here, but he's not here.
Dave's not here.
But we do have Brent McDonald.
McDonald.
That's a tough name to have to deal with your whole life, I'm sure, with the McDonald's.
It was
jokes.
worse when I was younger.
Yes.
To all beef
Brent McDonald from Apothecary.
Yes, sir.
Crushing it on the extract game here in Denver. Luckily, he brought us lots of flavors all over the spectrum, and yeah, Dave's down there too, and it is his birthday, and he is 50 today.
50, woo! Look at that
Amazing.
cake.
Bang.
Come on, stoned Yoda.
You don't even, people aren't even realizing that is a cake.
That's a cake, by the
They thought
way.
that was just a model.
No.
That is an amazing cake
That's a
by his
cake.
wife. What's the name of her cake company?
Art to Eat Cakes. A-R-T, the number 2, eatcakes.com, or just Art to Eat on Instagram.
You need to check out the website. Amazing fucking stuff. This one she just slapped together because it is Dave, by the way. So she just like threw it together. It's
Yeah, she had a few hours, days, weeks, and
but it is
threw it together.
I was wholly impressed, I'd have to say.
Beautiful cake.
Thank you.
And we got a bunch of people calling in, probably to wish Dave a happy birthday, I would think.
No, they're calling to talk cannabis and the industry and extracts and Carta better than Puffco, or is Puffco better than Carta?
This is a never end. It's going to be like the hydro versus organic story that never seems to end or something.
My strain.
You don't have a strain, Dave. So
What are you talking about?
Dave?
I do. I just didn't make it.
Dave.
Dave has a strain? What are you talking about?
It's right there.
Here. That's right.
Oh, that
here.
is true. You do have your own strain. I forgot.
Well, I should say they put my face on a really fire strain at 14er.
Lucky.
And I'm very thankful.
And want to thank all the sponsors for making it all happen. And then end of the show. We had to extend it because of last week's missing episode.
Right. Somebody was in Colombia or some other far off third world nation.
I'm gonna blame somebody else, but it's okay. We'll do it later.
Who do you want to blame?
I'm gonna blame him when he calls me, so I
okay.
gotta save it. I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna save that for when he calls, so I can go. Like,
Is it Pinsky?
No.
Oh,
but you
'cause
can blame him if
I
you
would-
want. Anyway,
We blame Pinsky. So if anybody is upset why we didn't have a show last week, it's jason@pinsky.com and just write him and tell him what a douche he is.
or just go to pinskysmybitch.com if you really want to.
That is the most hilarious thing. I thought
I had
you
to
were
renew
kidding.
it. I had to renew it the other day. I got it sent. There was like,
Isn't that funny?
do you want to renew it for 2 years? I was like, fuck
Yes. How do I get 10
Absolutely.
years? I'll take it.
Best $53 I ever spent, right there.
Oh, 53, you need a bit better web host.
I know it's GoDaddy and bullshit, whatever.
It's all right. I spend money. Should I pack you up a Carta?
Please.
Which one do you want?
We got all kinds of good stuff on the table today.
Yeah,
Try that sour GMO.
Man.
But now you can't see the awesome cake because of the thing in the
They
way.
can see the cake. We can just move it a little bit to
We
the.
have to slide the cake over.
I'll
Tiny.
do it.
Slide it over that way, and the watch is going to fall off the table, and that's going to be the end of it.
Remember, we said how long before Dave breaks something.
Right?
This is it. I'm trying to like initiate it somehow magically. No, the wrong way, Dave.
No,
Oh yeah, right.
Perfect.
Keep going. Oh yes,
No, we can't see the Adam Dunn show thing now, though. Holy
that's
shit.
fine.
That's fine.
We got one right behind me. There we go.
Yeah, there.
Well, anyway, yes, I was out of town, went down to Colombia, checked out some things down there. Always amazing to be in a place where you just can't even imagine that they would be allowing cannabis and hemp to be grown like the way it is, and it's just like, yeah, it's great, good times down there.
Those photos were great. You should find a way to post some of those, dude, because it wasn't a
Which one
a
are-
project. It was a campus.
Well, you know,
Oh,
you know, some things I have to keep sort of
Somet-
on
yeah.
the DL there. I can't go nuts and
you can't
just
be showing everyone.
throwing everything out
Drone
there.
photos.
Jeez.
Oh,
Jesus.
it's somewhere
do
below the equator. How
I'll do the
about that?
Google Maps satellite image. How about that?
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
With the exact coordinates.
Caleb's sending a helicopter down there right now. Yeah, with all the Select Seed money he's got, it's all helicopter down to Colombia, and he's gonna go to Adam's farm, sour GMO.
So let's stick with Brent since he's he's here for the next hour to enjoy. Basically, he's just gonna come in, cut the right out of the center of the cake. And
I
out the
came to
door.
eat Yoda.
I bet.
Oh shit! Came to eat Yoda. #.com.
Soundbite. ISO. Keep the ISO. Shout out to Rarefino family in the house. The whole family's here. Didn't know kid though. It's school day. Where's your kid? What's going on? Playing with a friend. All right. Yeah. It was we're having a killer storm here in Colorado today. The funny thing about Colorado is people everywhere else is like, oh, it's almost springtime, and here we're like, snow's about to start because pretty much March and April are actually the most snow in Colorado. The months with the most snow usually. And
it up one.
so we're getting slammed right now. So last week, beautiful weather, no show. This week, terrible weather, show.
Show.
So that's how we roll.
Great.
That's how we roll.
Yeah.
See, nobody's even into Canada did not realize it was a cake.
How did you not know that?
'Cause
It's a
he-
cake.
Yeah, because he's not here, and I wouldn't notice it's a cake. But it's
Maybe Mark will put Heather's website up. You can
He
click
did.
the website.
You're
You
not
did.
paying
I already flashed it
attention,
up there.
bro.
You didn't pay
I
attention.
wasn't paying attention.
You don't pay attention to anything I do.
No,
I'm
I
out
don't.
here
Wow.
working my butt off,
Sweating balls.
sweating
putting the whole-
balls, carrying things over snow.
Just so you know, Mark was here this morning at like 10 o'clock to get the studio ready.
Yeah, man.
He laid cable across Denver and has us a hard line into Comcast.
So this is
right.
going to be the last week that we're going to allow, because it is his birthday, but we're going to allow Dave to not be prepared for the news episode. Of the show. 'Cause we need to get that together. You know that.
I will.
You
I,
are the-
I have one big news story for the day.
Oh, well, good. Then
Yeah.
we will
I'm
have
50. There you go.
hardly news. Okay, so that is your job, though. From the moment you
That's
finish
it.
the show, I want you to be like
News.
Johnny on the spot.
Dave's News.
Anything you see that's interesting, you need to save it. Send it over to Mark. Let Mark.
All right.
You know,
Did you see the Super Bowl this week?
what is that?
The Super Bowl almost had a cannabis advertiser, but it got
Almost.
denied.
Yeah.
Denied.
There you go. You got news. Now we're going.
That is my news. I'm going to save for later.
That was no. you already
Apothecary
started it.
extracts.
You have to do it right now, bro. You have to. So yeah, what happened? Tell us what happened. Who
Well,
was supposed to be in there?
So Acreage Capital, who is worth about, I don't know, $3 billion, Kevin Murphy's fund, attempted to buy a Super Bowl commercial, and they were denied because cannabis money is not good for the football. You can have head injuries, you can sell alcohol, and very scantily clad women's outfits, but try to sell anything.
A lot of drama over that too. This year.
Well, I think they sold some hamburgers, some cars. There was a movie, and then J-Lo showed her hoochie. And Shakira, who I thought was quite amazing, was dressed in more, well, I should say less fabric than my underwear. So in her whole outfit. So
Yes.
you can do all that, but God forbid a cannabis company would want to spend some money and advertise, and we have to protect the babies and can't accept their money. But I'm not a fan of Acreage Capital, truth be told, but they should have been allowed to buy an ad, just as Native Roots should have been allowed to buy the naming rights for Mile High Stadium. And it's the only place in Colorado I think you can advertise right now, right, is a side of the road, like one of the little things like this highway cleaned up by.
Every
and-
single highway here is
Right.
clean is cleaned or maintained by some dispensary somewhere. It's
And that's
pretty-
it.
It's amazing.
They actually just changed that rule. So starting January 2020, we can go ahead and buy a billboard now.
Wait, that was the January 2020. It's February 2020.
Well, I know, the rule just changed last month,
Sweet.
and now you're going to start seeing billboards pop up and that sort of thing.
So wait a minute. We could be driving down 25, and there could be a picture of Adam Dunn on the side of the road
that would
selling
be
some.
scary. That would be scary.
That needs to happen.
People be driving off the road, like right.
Yeah.
They just want to go to that sign and smoke with it. That'd be the coolest thing. People would
What
be
is-
stopping under the sign to like
kind of
record dad
limitations?
videos.
There must be pretty reg. It must be like you can but then
Yeah,
there's a huge
so-
list of, but you can't do this and you can't say that and you can't have a weed leaf and you can't have, or is it, are they going to be that extreme or are they going to?
Yeah, it's going to be that extreme.
I kind of figured so.
Yeah.
You can advertise weed without a weed leaf.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
somehow you can imagine
Yes.
you can't say the word weed, cannabis, or have a leaf, or smoking. You can't imply any kind of consumption. So you can basically it'd be like a drug ad where they have a guy on a horse with his wife and it's like has nothing to do with the drugs that are going to kill them when they take them. Basically, it's like riding a horse or doing something completely not.
It's like back in college when you were going to ask your buddy when you were in a room full of people who weren't stoners if he had a bag of weed in his pocket, so you'd ask him if he knew where Bob was. Have you seen Bob lately?
Exactly.
Yeah, I saw him now. So we have to call it Bob.
So, what kind of advertising you guys do right now with the Apothecary? Because that's one of the hardest things about this industry
Yeah.
is like how to not be pigeonholed into the same exact publication as everybody else, and then it kind of gets boring. And
It does. It gets really boring, and it's tough to find ways to advertise. Obviously, traditional advertising and marketing is shunned upon via Facebook, Instagram, that sort of thing. And so, a lot of it is building community. That's what I try to do for marketing. We try to throw a lot of events. We try to get a lot of people high. We try to be really personable. As far as digital advertising, we just do basic stuff. We've lost untold amounts of Instagram and Facebook accounts.
Yeah.
To
it's the story of all the cannabis people's lives,
Right.
isn't it? Right? Like fuck, after everything. See, and it's always when you've got a little momentum and
Yeah.
you're actually getting somewhere. That's the show. Yeah, and I think there's a danger of use, like as I know from years, like whenever you're getting people high and they love what your products that you have, you run the inherent risk of like basically creating the amnesia for them to remember. Like people have it and go like, what is that? Like, yeah, I can't really remember because it's like, and that's usually a good indicator that it was actually really good because otherwise you would have not forgotten in the first place, right?
Exactly.
What events what kind of live stuff were you guys doing?
So, we put on an event every other month called Ambrosia Days.
Oh, that's cool.
And Ambrosia is what we call our live resin. That's a term that we use to call our live resin. So this Ambrosia Days event, we kind of couple it with a large sale at our dispensary, and then we throw a huge after party. Typically, we have a cool venue right down the street from our shop in Denver, and they allow consumption. And so we have open dab bar set up for everybody,
Sweet.
and we just kind of get everyone together. We have it fully catered. We have a bunch of vendors show up. Same people who support us come every time, and it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger throughout the years. Now we since we have 3 dispensaries, we kind of go to all different cities. So we start in Pueblo on Friday, and then we'll hit Colorado Springs on Saturday, and then we'll hit Denver on Sunday, and it'll just be kind of one long 3-day event.
So you guys have a Denver and a Pueblo separate different thing, or because I saw that on
Yep.
I was trying to figure out
So we
who,
have
who I'm promoting here.
Yeah, so we have a dispensary in Pueblo that's recreational and medical, and then we have a dispensary in Colorado Springs that's just medical because Colorado Springs is medical only, and then we have one in downtown Denver right on Broadway, right in the heart of the Green Mile, that we just opened up last year, and we're celebrating our 1-year anniversary tomorrow.
So as far as extracts and things, so you guys concentrate more on like BHO concentrates, or you guys, I say concentrate on concentrate, double. But what's your main focus as far as your extracts?
Yeah, so our main focus is hydrocarbon extracts, but although that is our focus, we do offer a solventless line, and we're starting to, as solventless extracts become more and more popular, we're starting to release more and more solventless extracts. So, but our main focus and kind of what we're known for is our live resin, our Ambrosia product, and it's kind of, I think that is, what we do best.
Yeah, this one I'm smoking right now.
That's the Lemon G.
That's what I'm smelling right
Yeah.
now. And Lemon G is just a beast when it comes to terp. So, and it definitely pops on this one, which is awesome. And because I think one of the problems you run into is just so much, there's so much in the center, and there's very little on the edges when it comes to extracts, because you get a lot of stuff is all so similar, and you get these it's not jumping out of the fucking thing, but
Right.
like stuff like this, right away you're like, okay, nice. This is definitely, it's got almost like a like a gritty, like when you smoke a proper, like when you have good good indicas and good Afghans have a kind of a dry like vibe to them.
Yep.
Compared to a greasy vibe. And greasy's, they're both good, but I like that dry thing, and this one seems to have that too, where it sticks to your nose.
Yeah, one thing that's kind of unique about our stores is we grow for extract. We don't actually sell any flower at all. So our dispensaries are all what I call concentrate focused, meaning we only sell extracts out of our dispensaries. It's been a unique scenario where people told us it would never work. People were like, you can't get away with not selling any flower, and it's been fun proving
You proved them wrong.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those deals where it takes a while to get the momentum on those kind of situations, because what happens is every third person comes in and goes, "Do you got any flour?" And you say no, and then they get all pissed off.
You don't have a $59 ounce?
But at a certain point, once they know that's not that you're not there for that, and they actually know that you're there just to get extracts. I mean, I think in the long run, anytime you focus on less, less types of things, you're just going to get better at what you do, right?
Absolutely.
Plus, people know what they're there for.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the concentrate community is that they sort of migrated from the high-end flower smoker. The people that really enjoyed the flavor and the terp profile and the differences between the different strains. That comes through so much more in a proper concentration. When I first started dabbing, and you used to get shatter and rolled up in wax paper and little cards, like you Coke paper from the 80s.
Yep.
And you'd take it, and sure enough, why it was shatter is because you'd put a little on it and break apart in the room, and but the first time
Carpets
I took one,
love shatter, that's
right?
for sure, and carpets seem to love it. Carpet's best friend.
But the first time I took home one of your jars and I opened it up, I really didn't, it didn't sort of connect with me, because I'm standing there and all I could think to myself is, well, fuck, I just dropped a nug on the floor and stepped on it, because the flavor is just booming. Somebody's grinding up some fire sour diesel right now, and I don't want it to go to waste. So I found myself looking on the ground for the nugs I dropped until it kind of hit
You're
me
that guy, huh?
This is like 3-4 years ago, This is right at the beginning.
I found myself looking on the ground for the next dab.
Yeah, no, I was looking for the nug I dropped, but it was really this fire concentrate that I had opened up and didn't realize that smell was coming from there, because I'm so used to that shatter bland smell, it was that old, it was in a paper, and maybe it had a little flavor, maybe it didn't, but it never translated through the nail.
Somewhere I have a photo, and it's so gross looking. It was like, I looked down one time and there was a dab which had splattered on this carpet at my mom's at this spot where it's just the dab cabin, right? Which is basically the dabbing cabin is on the property where it's just that's where sitting around in my spot. I looked down. It looked like a giant fucking spider mite or something. Is the way it and if I'll try to find the photo and pull it up, but it's so gross, and yet it's how many more of those are on that ground? It's disgusting. Many. So how many people you got working? What's your crew like?
We started out. I was the second employee ever at Apothecary 4 years ago, and we're just over 130 employees now.
Wow.
4 years later.
That's a force to be reckoned with, right there.
We're trying.
How many in the grow, and how many in?
The main bulk of our force is obviously packaging and production. We have 3 different cultivation facilities, one in Denver, one in Colorado Springs, and one in Pueblo. Each of those cultivation facilities has five growers, essentially a grow manager, and then 4 employees underneath them. But we just opened a 12,000 square foot production facility in Pueblo West, which houses all of our extraction equipment, our production, and that sort of thing. And that's where the bulk of our employees are. And we probably have 40 packagers currently.
Yeah, I mean that is the thing about getting into any kind of production, is you realize it is a lot of work to get those. There's so many steps. There's so many steps, to get it.
People don't realize, what it takes to get a gram, from
12 pounds.
from seed to sale. It truly is a process. Each gram, it requires 5-6 touches by different individuals. Someone's packaging it, someone's gramming, someone's labeling it. We have 3 or 4 labels we got to put on there.
It's the same with flour. Flour is like 7. I think the
Right.
average. They've kind of is about the average amount of times it's going to get touched before it gets into that fucking bag. By the time, not including while it's growing. Who knows?
Right.
Depends on how aggressively they're handling it. But that's the difference between doing retail and growing in your basement and selling it to your homies. Because that's why everybody knows that if you grow your own, you're going to have better quality weed just because of that. It's all about the handling. It's like you could be the same exact quality when it starts, but the handling just fucked up all the production stuff.
100%.
And so you'll be like, it's also like when you harvest and the weed's not quite dry enough yet, but it's burning and it tastes amazing because it's all terpy as fuck. And then that same weed, like when it's really ready to be given to your friends or to whoever, it's like not there anymore. It's like,
It's not the same.
And so you can, and that's just from your basement or from your garage or wherever to your homies. Now add the 7 touches in the middle, and your chances of getting those terps, just making it through that gauntlet is fucking,
Someone
tough.
told me once that after he grows a crop and harvests it, there are 37 ways somebody could fuck the plant up before it ever gets to the retail consumer.
I believe that.
100%. That's where all the mistakes happen. It's
So
like-
I have a question about, so when you do your BHO, is there a standard, I start with X grams of flour, I know always yields X grams of concentrate, or is there a little, different strains are going to yield better? You have ones you like. Are there strains that tend to concentrate better with different methodologies? Like, do you have recipes? Like when you're doing sour diesel, you run your equipment a certain way, or is it just all going through?
Well, I would say it more depends on the grow than it does depend on the strain. When we're running all of our own material, it's different. We have it dialed. We know exactly, okay, we're going to run this much gas over this much material, just because that's what it can handle. When we're running stuff, we're a production facility, so we process for, 60, 70 different cultivation facilities. It gets different. Sour D from one cultivation to sour D, depending if they grew all organic or they grew with salts, it changes. It changes everything. It changes the way the product crystallizes or the way, we can turn it into a specific consistency. And so, that's what's tough about a production facility is that it doesn't matter if you grow the same strain and you're a different cultivation, it could be completely different. So we try to stick to our SOPs. We have a pretty standard operating procedure that we do for all BHO, and we find that it creates the best product when we stick with those SOPs.
What is this called? S'mores, and this is your high cannabinoid extract, right?
Yep, that's a HCFSE. The S'mores that's from Verde Natural, and that's a Pink Panther crossed with the Star Dog. It's a really nice OG terp.
I mean, it's just crystals. Careful, it's going to fall out. Yeah, it's like
Well,
no
he
sauce.
He can watch it fall out though. That's
Look,
that's
that would be
so-
great.
Yeah.
But then there'll be somebody else on the chat room they can make fun of.
Let me see those. Giant. Those look like some chunkers there.
I mean, as opposed to this DJC. Oh, look, I got the name in, which is wicked saucy. Fucking love that one too.
What is the cross on DJC?
The Truth by Deadhead OG.
It's just absolutely phenomenal.
I take no credit. I was just happened to have a big mouth.
He just happened to
one
have the
day.
same initials too. It's like what?
That was it. You laugh, but that's the true story behind it. It was just a Deadhead Jamaican cross, and Jonah was walking past and just said, "Why are my dad's initials on that strain?" And that was it. So, whatever story they
I mean, the
told
deadhead
me,
part makes sense. So there you go. So it all became like the Jamaican part. Forget about it. Like that has like that. I would be like, yeah, you might want to pick a different strain. But once you throw the deadhead in there, probably been to Jamaica, right? Have you been to Jamaica?
I have not yet.
Oh my God!
Soon.
Take that strain away from him now.
Take it away.
You cannot have that. It's against the rules.
It's
You're
it's
breaking
just
all-
my name on it. I didn't fucking cross it or anything. I didn't breed it in my home like you crazy little geneticists. I'm looking at Caleb over here. He could tell you every strain he has, how it was crossed, which Adam strains he brought in, going back to like I don't know time
Dave-
beginning.
Yeah, Dave's breaking all the rules pretty much. Right? It is his birthday.
Oh, I used a name. Fuck.
No, not even that.
What'd I do?
You broke like 4 more rules. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Adam has all these rules,
Yeah.
just so you know, and I don't know
Yeah.
any of them.
And he
Are they printed anywhere?
No, they are not.
You just have to know them.
You just have to know 'em.
Well, you
Fuck.
definitely can't be calling Jamaican something when you've never been to Jamaica. That's a rule. That is.
I
that's
didn't
an obvious
call
rule.
it
That's obvious.
that.
Obviously.
I'm
I know
the
you
pretty
didn't-
face they put on the can. I had nothing to do with the strain at all. Absolutely nothing.
I wonder who's working there now.
Somebody related to me.
So out of all this, because it must be really complicated though processing for that many different groups, because that is a lot to put in your sort of lineup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's your turnaround time? Is it like?
So
That is, I think, the key to the best extractors is not that they should work faster than normal, but if there's any, when they get into this whole yeah, I'll get it to you when I get it to you mentality, you know that shit is not going to be done properly. Whereas if there's people are like, it comes in and they're like, all right, I'm on it. Those are the guys I like, because you know that time's of the essence, right? Like
Right.
the longer that shit sits around, the more it's been touched and handled again and moved around or fucked up or who knows what, or heat or cold, or, we're not, that there's enough ways. Again, there's a 34 million ways you can fuck it all up.
34 million ways.
So our turnaround times are, right around 14 to 16 days for live resin and 8 to 12 days for a dry cured product. That's good. And a lot of that has to do with, the product does get ran immediately when it comes in the facility. That's just how our production facility works.
Yeah.
But, there's testing. There's a lot of testing requirements now. That just holds up the whole process. And then our biggest bottleneck is obviously packaging. We're putting out anywhere between 75,000 to 100,000 grams a month, and our biggest it's packaging. You know what I mean? It takes an army to package up that much hash. And so it just becomes the biggest bottleneck of the whole operation.
I don't think you should be selling single grams. I think it's 4 grams or nothing.
4 gram minimum. That's what I agree.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going from here.
I'm down with that too. These half gram things drive me nuts. It's like
Half gram.
I'm glad
Fuck
that was never a thing in Colorado. I mean, it's not a real thing in Colorado. There's, everywhere else you go to
I've seen a lot of places do that. And it's just
Vegas had some half grams I saw.
yeah, California
kidding
does
me?
the half gram thing.
and you're just like, what a waste of time, energy, and packaging. And everything. Just like everything about it is a waste, and it's ridiculous. A lot, because depending on the product too, there's certain ones that it's like, yeah, it's a dab. It's one dab, and then like after that, it's one good dab, and then the rest kind of a shitty
Yeah.
one. And
Your
that's it.
dabs.
And you're like, that's it.
Agreed.
Yeah, if he had a half a gram thing, that would maybe be two dabs.
Yeah,
right?
the least I'll buy at a time is 2 grams.
Right.
And then I just combine the jars and then have an extra jar.
I took 4 sour diesel extracts that you did, and I had to put them in one jar because I couldn't look at 4 single jars. It was driving me fucking crazy. So as soon as I got home, I just scooped them into one.
Yep.
What are you gonna do?
We'd prefer to just sell it by the ounce.
I love this guy.
Bravo.
You can come on every week.
So what's the prices on that going for about? 'Cause
For what, a gram or an ounce?
for an ounce. Like,
So
real amount.
so every day you can come into our dispensary and you can get an ounce of our live resin for $750,
Okay.
which we feel is a fair price. There's definitely much cheaper live resin available in Colorado. We're definitely not the cheapest, but we feel it's a great value
Let
for
me
what
take
you
out my
get.
calculator here. Hold on a second.
and it's one of the,
That's out the door. 700 plus taxes. It comes out to 754 out the door.
right, because that's where you get crushed if it was, and that isn't really even that bad, because I mean,
That's pretty good.
I know people who charge almost that much, and they don't have 130 people working for them. So,
What are you talking about, Adam? What are you talking about?
oh, I don't know. No, yeah, I'm just-
Are you breaking any of the rules?
oh yeah, I just
Did any rules get broken right there? I don't know.
I
It sounded
broke-
like there might be some rule breaking.
I
This
broke at least
escalated
4
quickly.
rules. I broke at least 4 rules here, but it's okay. I can do that.
your
Okay,
show.
back to the show. Thank you very much. But no, it is crazy how like you can, like, that sounds expensive, but when you actually have an ounce, it's compared to like getting a bunch of grams, half of the shit stuck to the thing. By the time you actually calculate the the waste that you didn't get because every package retained X amount. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, it's just like, I feel so much, just like having a good sack of weed. I feel just much more at ease. Like your tension levels are so much lower. You're not thinking in your mind like, oh my God, if I do that dab now and the other dab, I will not have anything till that. Panic. And when I'm traveling, I literally to the last hit as I was leaving before I was running to the airport, I was like, I timed it so good this time, but I canceled but I only went half the amount of time, and I literally changed my ticket knowing that I was like, dude, I'm never gonna make it. Like, this is it. We're going home. Fuck it. Pull the ripcord. And it
You
worked out
changed your travel plans because you ran out of concentrate. I fucking love you.
pretty much. I was like, even though there was weed around and it was okay, but
No, it wasn't.
But
It wasn't the same.
But everybody wanted to smoke what I had, so it didn't matter anyway. So then I would feel you're instantly it's like going to a party and not having good weed, or someone else pulls out better weed. You pretty much go home. Like, party's over, dude. I'm out. I'm done. I'm no longer.
Well, I can tell you this:
feeling
if
good.
you pulled this out in a room, there's very doubtful that anybody has any better concentrate than you have, because
listen to
this.
you.
Well, I'd never had this before, but this strain, Grape Cola, it smells like Welch's grape soda. I mean, it
Fuck,
is.
don't tell
It
what
is
somebody I
straight
know.
up
There's
Welch's
somebody I
grape
know
soda.
who might go
It,
crazy
you
if he
should.
hears that.
I would just.
I can't break the
I'd
rules.
want the
Rules.
advertising. I'd call it Welch's just
No,
to get them
great.
to fuck with me.
No, you're going down.
Till they sue us.
Well, let them sue you. They'll send you a cease and desist letter. You'll instantly stop and you'll
frame
run it
it.
on Instagram. Exactly. that would be your total saving grace. Look, they tried to sue us because it smelled like their soda. I would take that any day of the week.
Absolutely.
I'll try some right now.
Please.
Yeah.
It's that's a Katsu Bubba crossed with the Grape Ape.
Katsu Bubba crossed with grape. Oh, jeez Louise.
Yeah, and the katsu actually would be a good, because it doesn't really, it would stay in that kind of zone that you want to be to
Yeah.
amplify those terps. Let's see. I think we might be getting a
See, here he goes getting all nerdy.
magic call coming. Nerdy. What's going on?
Nerdy.
What is going on?
I didn't break it. I haven't broken anything. We're
So
like
how's
20
your card?
minutes in.
How is your card doing?
It's doing great.
Are you getting better at it now? Have you learned?
I
There's a whole learning curve to all these devices.
Well, I think I'd probably be much better at it if I hooked it up to the app, so I could actually know how hot and cold it was. Right now, I'm just doing number 1 and number 2. So, but the next time that Matt comes in, I'll have him show me how to use the app. Or if there's a young kid in here who's figured it out, I'm sure one of these. Wait, don't break any rules. There's nobody here, and nobody will show me how to use this.
Oh, look at this. Is this your first birthday present? Oh, shit.
I don't know, who is it?
Well, the Adam Dunn Show, who we got? Is this a birthday present? Is this a birthday gram?
Hello.
The birthday gram calling in? What up?
Yeah. Are we live?
We are live.
We are
live.
We are so live, bro.
Happy birthday, David Chardick.
Woo!
Yeah.
Thank you.
Danny
What
Danko?
is he,
Dude,
sir?
like a movie
Oh, it's
star.
Danko.
Yeah.
Like a
What's
movie
up,
star's
brother?
calling you, bro. This is
Yeah. Happy, what is it, 35th?
Jesus. Wow. You're a pro.
35th?
Oh, flatter me,
Yeah,
Danny. Oh, Danny.
Trying to get into his pants or
Good
something? What are you
hash
doing?
keeps- Good hash keeps
Danny, want my mangina, don't you?
I guess. Jesus.
Good hash keeps you young, man.
That sure
You know?
does.
That's the truth.
I'm here with Shiloh Massive too. I'm at the Massive Creations booth.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Shiloh.
You want Shiloh, say a word.
You know we will.
Say hello.
Adam Dunn Show, live. We're live.
We are live.
Live
We're
time.
live.
We are.
Kicking back. The breeze is blowing. The sun is shining.
Yeah.
And all our eyes are red. There's no war up in the camp because we have no reason to fight. We all just stay irie and bless up the herb, right?
That's
It
right.
sounds exactly
Especially
like it
under
is here,
strong.
except it's sunny where you are and it's snowing where it is here.
Yeah, boy. So, how's the show looking?
Right.
How's that show looking for you guys?
You know, it's starting out a little slow, but it's Friday, Aloha Friday. You know, so people are starting to get off work and cruising through, and you know, there's a lot of happy people here, and
Yeah,
looks
no.
like it's going to be a really good time. You know, there's a line out the door. It's exciting to see, you know, a place like Hawaii that's been such a big part of cannabis to reopen its doors to something like this, you know. And we're here selling beans. We got exclusive GAC drops, and it's doing good. You know, a lot of people are interested. We're selling some seeds. People are growing some trees over here, And yeah, it's fucking awesome, bro. Seriously, good vibe.
What's the concentrate like on Hawaii?
You know, it's an unfortunate climate in Hawaii. You know, a lot of the weed just turns brown as soon as it touches the air. If you don't keep it in the freezer.
Yep.
Concentrates is a similar thing, because if you don't keep it in the right environment, it just degrades like overnight. So it's, you know, there's definitely some people into it. There's definitely people with freeze dryers. There's definitely people, you know, pushing that level of hash over here. Of course, dude's blasting, but right here at this thing, it's mostly just there's none of that like hydrocarbon solventless, and nobody's repping that. It's just herb, seeds, and like CBD type of stuff. So it's like a super healing approach to cannabis that they're coming into at this initial period, which is awesome.
Yeah, no, like you were saying earlier, though, the weather definitely, it's hard to get to keep any weed there. If you, you know, you leave, leave something for a couple days, come back, and it's like, ooh, fucking, what happened to that?
It's all moldy.
Yeah, but it's still chronic. The weed will still look, you know, it'll turn brown instantly. It'll be still chronic. My homie was like, it's his first time in Hawaii. He's like, man, why does the weed all look old? I'm just like, you know, that's just what happens in the tropical environment. But, you know, everyone still keeps it blazing, so.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
They're not really tripping, but, you know, get a Curador. Keep that shit in your freezer, you know.
Carry a freezer in your back pocket, basically, what you got to do. Have a freezer in your backpack.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you got to take your daily rations out with you, you know, or.
Yeah, no, there's some definite people who had some fire when we were there for the Ahi competition over in Maui a couple years ago. So it's there,
right?
You know,
you'll be deceived because it does look brown and shit, and then you'll smoke it, and it'll be like, oh, bro, that's the sweetest joint I ever smoked, you know. And I gotta say, you know, I did my homies Pakalolo seeds. Those guys gave me some Hawaiian sun grown, and like everything else, it was a little bit on the brown side. But I smoked that, man. I felt like I was levitating above the banyan tree.
Exactly, and that's the thing. It gives you that kind of much top of your head kind of high, like really proper old school, where you're like, oh fuck, I'm actually really. This is why they call it getting high, because you're not fucking couch locked at all. Cool. Well, good to hear from you, man. We're going to be seeing you next month, I'm sure, at the Spanish.
Yeah, cruise over. We'll jam out in Spain. You know, have a good time over there. I'm going to be there for a few days if everything works out, and it's always good to see you. And
we'll be doing a few shows
you want
over
Danny
there.
back?
Of course, we want Danny.
He pawned me off on you. So
I know. He thought he could get away. He's trying to He's like, I'm out.
They want Danko. They're
we want Danko.
Danko.
Oh,
see,
they want Danko. They're chanting.
They're chanting.
No, you won't get him.
Come on.
Everybody in the chat room says, what happened to Danko? Look at the fuck.
Danko.
Were you coughing the whole time?
You're back?
You're back?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm here with Bobby Black and April.
Bobby Black?
Oh my God! Star-studded event we've created here. This is it. This is
Are you gonna quickly mention Higher Way Travel or something like that, real quick?
I
get a free plug.
Higher Way Travel, of course. We're gonna mention that. Yeah, of course.
Get that plug in.
Yeah, that's the done deal. You get the done deal from Higher Way Travel.
Get on the plane right now, anybody and everybody on the plane. We're going to Hawaii.
Come to Honolulu.
Yeah, we're on our way.
And that's really Grandpa there, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What, your grandpa?
No, my daughter's grandpa, yes.
Oh.
Yeah, hi, Grandpa. Hi, Michael.
Wow.
That's my son standing over there, by the way. Can I bring him on camera?
Yes.
Come on, get over here.
Otherwise, people think you just kiss random guys that roll in here, and you'd be like, so what is Dave doing kissing all these guys coming in? I don't quite get it. What's going on?
Wait, you have to get him on camera.
So, Danny, how long are you going to end up hanging there? A couple more days? You going to get the sweet deal, or are you going to be...
I'm here. I'm here all weekend, and then Monday I'm golfing on a beautiful golf course, and then flying home after that. And yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm also going to be. Hold on, I'm gonna wait here. I'm going to be relaunching my podcast too in the near future. So I'm
there we go.
That.
There it is.
Now that's what we wanted to hear. That's what we wanted to hear. The relaunch.
Yeah.
The relaunch.
Is it going to be Fridays at 3:20?
Yeah.
Now, I think next week we have a show lined up with you next week for Valentine's Day, right? Now Dave.
Oh, that's
Excellent.
exactly what they want to see. Is
Oh,
they want
yeah.
to see the three of
Well,
us on Valentine's
There's
Day.
nobody more angelic and sort of Valentine-like I could think of than Danny Danko. I was like, no, but luckily we're gonna have at least McDonald's gonna be on also, so we'll have
Oh,
a little,
nice.
we're gonna have a little
Peace and
balance.
love. Peace and love.
Are you going to be in the studio or are you going to
No.
Skype in?
Skyping.
I'll be Skyping it.
We need to see your face though, because this is Valentine's Day. We need to put tinfoil hats on.
What are you going to be
Dave.
wearing? Are you going to be wearing something sexy? Tight fitting?
Cupid.
What am I
Revealing?
wearing?
He's wearing a Cupid unit. He's going to be like
Oh.
he's Danny Cupid. but
No,
it's-
yeah, put Pinsky in a Cupid outfit flying with a little arrow.
There we go.
I
I'm
do have
sorry,
a raw
Pinsky.
onesie.
I love you.
You have a raw onesie. That's perfect. Put that on.
I have a raw onesie.
I still have that red onesie that I
could
was
wear
wearing in
that.
the Europe photos.
All right, I'll tell everybody they have to wear onesies, and then none of us will except for you. It'll be perfect, just like every other Halloween party you've ever been to, where you're like, "Wait a minute, no one's dressed up."
What are you talking about? This isn't a birthday party.
You told me
I
to
would-
wear a onesie.
Fucker. Get that.
So free weed. So free weed is going to come out. Is it going to be like regular, or is it going to be like the way it was, where we just never knew when Danny was coming on the air? Come on.
Oh, it's going to be absolutely regular, once a week.
Wow.
Yeah, consistent. It's going to be 100% consistent. We're very excited about the relaunch. It's going to basically becoming kind of, a main gig of mine to do the show. So I'm
Cool.
excited.
So we have to go back to our fights again. I guess it's back to the battle of the podcast.
Yeah.
I'll referee.
Nice.
Whew,
Sweet.
okay.
Yeah.
In the corner to my left. Wayne.
Everybody
I
loves
don't want to
beef,
say it.
right?
Sorry, Danko.
Right. Well, so next
We
week,
got
so
the beef going.
we'll create. Let's like no one's gonna really listen into the show anyway right now, so we don't have to worry. But we'll do a beef next week. We'll start a secret beef and won't tell anybody, right? Oh shit, we're on the show. Oh no, fuck, we just fucked that all up. Never mind.
It's all fucked.
Yeah,
Totally
yeah.
fucked it up.
We already did that. We already fucked that one up last year when we tried to beef. We can't beef, Danny. It's impossible. That's the problem. We hang out together. Our beefs look really, really pathetic and lame because
Yeah.
everyone knows.
You're like two
We're
4-year-olds
two-
fighting, slapping at each other.
But we can create something. So you just have to come up with
It's like when there was like a couple of wrestlers who were enemies with each other, and then they got caught smoking together, and it was like a big scandal
Really?
in the WWF.
Well, there
Yeah,
you
it's a
go.
big story.
Well, who
Remember the
was
two
it?
wrestlers?
Alpha and Sika, the Wild Samoans?
It was the Iron. It was Sergeant Slaughter and the
An Iron Sheik.
I
That was-
love those
and
guys.
and they were enemies.
Yep.
They were enemies on
Uh-huh.
on paper, but then they got caught smoking and drinking together in a car on the way to one of the events, and it was like a big scandal because they were supposed to have beef, and they
Right.
obviously didn't.
No, that is cool.
I'm not embarrassed to say I was at the first WrestleMania.
I had heard that the Iron Sheik smoked a lot of weed actually at one point in my life. And so
Yeah.
that-
Well, his
that-
Twitter is like a must follow.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to get on that.
His
Definitely.
Twitter is amazing.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
we're definitely looking forward to the show next week with you and Elise, and yeah, just have fun out there in Hawaii. I don't think it's a really hard thing to do. So
Not
it's
hard at all.
It's one of those
Yeah.
things when people are in Hawaii, you're not really sure if you should be like happy that they're there or not. You're like,
Fuck.
fucking guys
Oh,
in
yeah.
Hawaii. What the hell? It's snowing over here. Yeah, we got about a foot of snow right now outside our studio. So there you
Oh
go.
man.
How's that?
Wow.
How's that make you
Okay.
feel? How's that make you feel? Good?
Yes,
I
are you
bet.
smiling?
Yeah.
Did that make you smile
Well, I
extra?
mean,
You're
Having
like,
a laugh at our expense?
haha.
Some people like snow.
It's true. It's true. It's true. There are people out there, but
Yeah.
Yeah, the people who like snow are not in Hawaii right now. They're here, and the people that like
Right.
Hawaii wish they
Yeah.
were in Hawaii, and they're in the snow.
Yeah, and everybody in this room wishes
Yeah.
they were with you.
Yeah.
Exactly as we thought. All right, well, man, have fun.
Thank you.
So-
Hold on.
who we got? What's going on?
Is somebody else on the line?
All right. So, no, I was just I was gonna see.
All your fans
Bobby
were
and
talking to
April.
you? Oh,
They're
put
good
Bobby
too as
on.
well. They say happy birthday. Okay, Bobby.
I saw Bobby in
What's up? I
Amsterdam
was
after
told to ask
Malta.
for the done deal.
Yo, no, everybody has to get the done deal off of you guys now. You just have to be ready for it. Be ready because they're coming. They're already on. I already heard people.
Wait, Hireway wants to be a sponsor of the show? Give us a call. We'll work out a good deal for you.
Oh, see that? See how that rolls? It's
Yeah,
his birthday.
no,
you
don't-
cannot say no on his birthday.
Don't
too.
mention
You know that.
don't mention his travel company until they become an official sponsor of the show.
Oh, bleep that out. We're
Yeah,
bleeping that
edit.
out.
We're bleeping it out on edit.
Oh boy.
No,
boy.
so everything's cool.
I
Nobody
just
lost
signed
your
a
bags.
verbal contract. Yeah. What?
You didn't lose everybody's bags, and everybody's there in their winter gear, wondering what the fuck's going on, or something like that. No, it's all good. Travel was well.
Yeah, everything's good. We just got to the expo. It's just starting to get going. It's very cool.
always love the Hawaii Cannabis Expo. It's a great event, and we're happy to be here representing.
Nice. Well, I don't think we have to say.
What do we got to do to get you guys out to Hawaii?
Oh, fuck.
Buy the tickets.
Tickets in the mail. We're ready to
Yeah.
go, bro. That's like the easiest sell in the world.
I got a bag packed up ready to go.
Adam and Mark fly coach, but we're gonna have to talk about a premium economy or business for me.
I fly whatever DJC flies.
I fly in the
Yeah,
in
we
the,
can
in the
get
good
we can get
seats.
you guys set up with a podcast live tapings out here for sure. I'm doing mine at 3 p.m. each day, tomorrow and Sunday,
Oh, wait.
Blazing. And
Let's do that.
yeah, if you guys come out, you can do some live podcasting too.
It sounds like we got all. This is all being recorded, by the way. So you know
you're-
that
you're-
you are now
you're on the
officially
line for it
fucked
now.
because you're gonna have to make do on that. So
Sweet.
we're holding you to it, Bobby. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll be there. Sounds
Show's
great,
over,
Bobby.
guys.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Mr. Black. Thank you, Mr. Black,
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
tickets.
Say hi to April for us, of course.
All
So,
right.
in Hawaii right
she's
now
right
is-
here.
Is there any,
Hi.
is there any Skywalker OG Kush going around?
Why? Because you left all
Well,
the seeds.
hello.
I brought 2,000 seeds a
Hey,
few
what's
years
going
ago, and I
on?
want to know if anybody popped them.
How you doing, darling?
Whoa.
Whoa, what's going on?
I can barely hear you guys.
Well, that's
Because
because
we're far away.
that's because
Grinders on the ground, and I can barely hear you guys.
that's because fucking Dave's.
So
butting
what's
in.
up?
Thinks
I won't
it's-
stop
he
talking.
thinks it's his birthday or something, and you can just talk over people. What's up? We're just
I'm
chilling.
breaking the rules.
We're chilling. You guys are having
Chilling?
fun. Yeah, we're just doing the show as a.
In the snow?
Yes, it is officially. So you guys are gonna obviously after this gig, you guys are gonna chill out there for like weeks on end or whatever. And
Yeah, well, we came in early, and we're heading home Monday, but then we're going to Costa Rica
oh
to
shit,
do
Of course.
a research trip.
Research trip.
I like those research trips.
So
Those are
anybody
good.
got any
Totally
any leads
deductible.
down there, some cool weed people in Costa Rica, let me know.
I'm sure there's a few people that actually listen to the show that are in Costa Rica right now. So there you go. That might have been the best plug you could have
Yeah.
ever done because when you get down there, done deals will be flying at you.
Flying.
Yeah. So
Oh, I love that done deal.
exactly.
Hit me up with that Costa Rica contact. But no, you guys got to come down here and do your podcast from here next year.
Okay. Like again,
Next year?
we're holding you and your husband accountable for all of this information. So
That's great.
We're
This is
ready.
all. This is we are recording this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's going out to the
Totally.
internet.
Done.
So
Yeah.
you guys judging anything, or you guys are just what are you guys doing when you're besides?
No competition here because it's kind of strict out here in Hawaii in the way that they want to do it. They want to do it proper, not just have some kind of thrown together stuff. So no competition, but I went on a garden tour yesterday at Karewailua, and that was awesome. And then I went on a badass hike to the tip of the island where it's believed that the souls of the people ascend on their way. So that was pretty beautiful. Untouched beaches. I only saw like 2 tents with locals fishing.
That's dope. Well, it must be nice to do some investigating for new spots. So that's before it turns into the next new hot spot. What else you got on the horizon besides Costa Rica? Any other like? I guess Asia's off. I guess Asia's off the
Jamaica.
list. I guess Asia's off the list. So that cancels a big chunk of the world to inspire to go to. So
Yeah. Well, I've got Jamaica for Baked on the Beach in April, and
Is
then
that
I'm going to come back to Maui in May and try to kind of build upon what I've been building out there.
cool. Well, that's a good little sesh. Go on tour and pretty much hit all those spots here. You got half the year covered at least.
Yeah,
right?
tropical destinations like me.
Right.
It doesn't suck running a cannabis tourism company. No.
But no, we're also going to be bringing it back to where it all began, Amsterdam, and we're going to roll out our
5, 6.
Amsterdam trip.
And we're not laughing. We're laughing
That's
at
what
a
we got
very
going
fun.
on.
We have a very funny person online right now, and he's making us all crack up. So he's keep going. You're killing us. Go, Mike. The floor is yours.
No, not yeah. Anyway, confusion all
I broke
around.
another rule.
Guys.
Confusion all around. All right. Well, thanks for checking in. We're gonna get on back to the show. but
All
it's-
right. Well,
Tell
I'm
Danny.
gonna give you back to Shiloh, I guess.
Oh, Shiloh. We're going on.
Shiloh.
We're around. We're going past around. Wow. Yeah. We should just have this on.
This is like that scene from Ferris Bueller where he goes, "Who else is there? Turn me over to somebody else. I want to talk to him."
We could have done this on Skype. We should have done this on Skype. We could have been seeing everybody. but-
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We fucked up.
We
All
would
right,
have
do
been
it
able to
again.
hear you though.
Do it again.
But
Yeah, I know.
here's Shiloh.
All right, back again.
Here's
Shiloh show.
Shiloh.
Yeah, it is a Shiloh show.
here
The
I am.
Shiloh show.
That I was back on the air live
I know.
with Adam Dunn on the Adam Dunn Show on Aloha Friday, the Hawaii edition.
That's right.
And Adam is vegan and 5'6".
And April hands me the phone right in mid joint roll, so that now I got half rolled joint in my hand and the iPhone in my
Pinsky can roll one-handed, so can you. Go ahead.
Yeah, at least one hand. You got to be able to roll one-handed by now. Come on.
Yeah, but
Anyway,
it's in my left hand. Okay, here, I'll do it. Switching sides.
switch. Well, anyway, it's
Are
okay.
you there?
Yeah, we're here.
All right.
So
We're not going anywhere.
It's Dave's birthday, by the way. So you want to wish him a happy birthday?
Dave, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
Happy birthday.
There you go. He's 50, dude. He's
Yeah,
old
don't
now.
let these,
You
don't let
are
these
older
guys
than
talk
me.
you into
He's
doing
officially
anything
old.
Tonight.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm older?
No,
Dude, I
Dunn
probably
is
am.
older than me.
No, I'm like what, 6 months older than you or something.
I don't know, but you had like your birthday was like 3 days.
I might be older than Dunn, god damn it.
You in your mind,
don't
in your
even got
mind you
gray
are,
hair.
but in your reality, no, I don't think so.
This is like that scene from Airplane. Under was over under, Dunn was over under, Dunn was. Wait, how did that go again?
Pinsky can't roll a joint one-handed. I want to.
Yes, he can.
I think it will. I think it will come out shitty.
I agree. I agree.
Okay, but I'm trying. I'm still trying to roll a one-handed joint.
Well, what's that? No. Okay. Well, anyway, we're gonna run too because we got a guest here, and we're gonna get back to him. But we were definitely gonna
Who
catch
do
up
you got? What kind of
with
guest
you.
you got?
Who you got, my friend?
Ooh.
Well, we got a doctor here. No, we have a extraction artist slash.
Artist.
He's an artist, man. Artist.
Apothecaryextracts.com.
Check them out. Yeah, when you're here.
Yeah, they're sick. They're sick
That's
extracts.
cool. That's cool.
So they're pretty
Well,
much.
yeah, you know,
Good to
pretty
see.
much what?
They pretty much almost exclusively process
What were they
everything
doing?
for 14.
What were you doing? Like, so what was your monthly? output?
700,000 grams.
700,000 grams a month.
75.
Wow, bro. I could probably smoke it.
No, I think it's a little less than that.
You
but
could, you
they crank it out. I mean, they really crank it out.
Just imagine all that in one room at one time, dude, and just like Jesus Christ, climbing on it like a kid on a dirt pile, and then jarring it up and selling it at the Cali market.
That's it.
No, it gets sold here in Colorado, taxed legally.
Yeah, yeah.
Boo.
Boo.
That's not boo.
Boo. Anyway, I mean,
Yeah, you know,
yeah.
I like illegal. I just like it when it's illegal. It's a little better. It tastes a little sweeter, you know. Fucking taxes suck, but
I agree.
Taxes suck.
that's just me.
Taxes
That's
leave
me.
like
But I'll let you
leaves like a
get the
metallic taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
The taxes, it's like fuck.
They do,
It's because
they
they shove a
do.
gun down your throat.
And
Basically,
not-
it's like ugh.
Yeah.
It's that gunmetal flavor after, you know.
But let's catch up. Oh, I got the joint rolled somehow. I just need to lick it.
One-handed?
Let's catch up. Let's do it. Yeah, one-handed joint. Let's do it. I call Pinsky out. I want to see video, and let's get on the air one day.
For sure.
Quieter.
We'll get you. Yeah, we'll get you.
Okay, sounds good.
We'll get you done soon. Peace, man.
Peace.
All right. Peace, guys. Happy
Have a
day.
good one.
All right.
All right, Danko here.
Oh, Danko's back. Yes, you can. Perfect. I'll see you next week, Danko.
Absolutely.
Get ready.
Valentine's Day. Happy
For sure.
Happy Valentine's.
Exactly. Happy Valentine's Day, buddy. All right. Talk
Love
to
you guys.
Yeah. Have fun out there. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks for calling in, Danko.
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, my pleasure. Talk to you soon.
Nice.
So wait, there was another strain we didn't talk to you about here. Raspberry lychee.
Yes, sir.
Holy smokes, what is this?
So that's a in-house breeding project that we did when we initially got started. That is East Coast Sour D crossed with the Blackberry Kush. Really, really heavy indica, like just really heady Hi.
I mean, it's
Are we
just...
gonna address my height now?
Oh, that was funny, Mike. You're hilarious. So, if I think Adam's
I'm
probably
5'11".
like
I'm 5'11". I'm
5'11".
I'm 5'11".
Yeah, I'm like 5'9". I was about to say. I was like,
5'11". I'm short. So I'm not sure if somebody's just really high or something, but and Mike is tiny too. So Mike just doesn't judge height, or is the other guy that doesn't judge? Who doesn't judge height?
I don't know. Mike said it.
Oh, Mike.
Oh no, I don't. Mike repeated it in a very funny way that made me
McStabwood
laugh.
or whatever.
Stabby McStabwood is the one. I was like, well, I actually like. Listen. I'll pull the photo up of Mike and I'll send it to him. And you can see, I literally leaned down for the shot to make us equal in height. So like, I'm like one of those guys. I'm trying to like, adjust for the other person.
The guy moves to
I don't look
Amsterdam
like-
when he's 18 years old. He's been running a podcast for 7 years. He could handle it from all angles, but somebody calls him short, and he loses and he cries like a bitch. Pinsky, start a site up, dunsmybitch.com,
Yeah, Dun
and
is
start
short.
with that
Dun is
one
short.
right now.
Just start with
Just
real
make
short.
him always really small.
I just was wondering because I was just like, weird. Because of all the things I get called, short is usually never one of them. It's like, unless it's by some fucking basketball player or something. But anyway,
Basketball player.
I can't say basketball player anymore either. Can
Yeah, you can. That's allowed.
as long as there's not some other word.
Where's that batter?
I got you. All right, hold on. Let me see.
There goes the carp. Oh, catch. Whoa.
It's okay. It's carpeted, bro. We're good.
Oh, that's right. Then there's a dab on the floor.
Let's see.
fantastic. That's fun to clean.
Okay.
So when did you guys start? I mean, when did you personally start doing concentrates? I mean, it wasn't when the industry started, right? You had to have been busting out.
I mean, I've been making hash for the last 9 years. Started off in Northern California, Sacramento area, and then when things got legal out here in Colorado, I moved out here. I don't extract much anymore. We have a whole team. I'm
created the SOPs.
Yeah, I do the marketing and a lot of the marketing and sales now. But definitely started out on the machines.
Well, if you're the second employee, you had to pretty much start.
We had to do everything. I was like
That's
packaging the hash, making the hash, selling the hash.
And that's pretty much like when you're in any kind of person in the industry that's like starting off, you have to be able to do everything, or else you're fucked because you're at the mercy of whoever you're bringing in. So if some guy's like, oh, I don't know how to do that, but at the end of the day, if you do that, then you can actually really maintain the rest of the the other people doing it in a realistic way, instead of like working people too hard and getting shitty quality coming out of them,
Right.
or getting taken for a sucker, and the guys are like, yeah, it's just it's got to take another week or so, and you're just like, what? Like this?
He hasn't even ran it yet.
It takes like fucking 4 hours. Like, what are you talking about? How can it take another week? You know what I mean? But and that's the thing is like making extracts is work, and people don't figure that out until they actually do it. Like bubble hash, a lot of work. Dry sieve, a lot of work. Working with solvent and like BHO and things, it's a lot of it's being very organized and working really efficiently is important, because you can't fuck up and get any kind of contamination or anything. And the thing is, it's maybe not as physical as making bubble hash, which is just like a nightmare, because you're like, fuck, now I'm really obligated to sit here for the next fucking 4.5, 5 hours and never stop moving or picking up heavy shit and doing unless you build it all specialized just to not have to do it. But old school way of doing it, definitely a lot more work. And then at the end of the day, it's like just all about cleanliness, really. I think that's the number one thing, that if you're a good, that's why like people who cook, chefs, people who actually have, I have to follow a recipe. Oh, yeah, that can't just be like, whatever, do it my way. And that's, because that is the problem, is there's certain things that people think is too much work, but it's just because if you don't do it that way, you fuck up.
Right, and I think in this industry in particular, there's a lot of people who cut corners. There's a lot of ways to cut corners. There's a lot of ways to be cheap and save money, and you see that, and you definitely see that in the final product as well.
Everything comes out in the wash, literally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh shit, like, maybe you see plants that are like really look good, but they're just waxy as fuck. And then when you actually make your shit, it's just like there's no oil in it. It's just all, and then you're like, no wonder that shit never really gets me that high. You know what I mean? And then you get other plants that don't look so much, but at the end of the day, dump.
They got it all.
They dump, and you're like, whoa, where's that all coming from? You know what I mean? Because it's not, and especially when you get different types, like with dry sieve. When you have a bunch of like trikes already in your shit without even touching it, you're like, it's gonna work. You know what I mean? But there's some that are weird that it hangs on really hard until you actually have to put a little bit of energy into it.
100%.
So yeah, so it's the nuances I think that are the dividing factor, and those nuances are usually the difference between the guy who keeps his shit clean and the guy who just fucking in a kitchen situation it would be cross contamination, and in a fucking in a extract situation it's going to just be inferior product and also contamination. So there you go. There's Mike Denver, and I'm literally leaning back and hard. So I don't know how tall he is, but it was definitely got to work on that height recognition. But congratulations, by the way, for winning the pack, which has to be by far the easiest win ever, right? Like just.
Are you going to pop them, Mike? Or are you like one of those baseball card collectors?
He's actually. I was impressed. He's one of the few guys out there that like seems to have like definitely taken the step to try to grow a lot of different varieties over the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
like maybe some of the people in the room that I shouldn't name or anything break any more rules, but
don't break all the rules.
No, that strain. I'm waiting to see someone. Right, you released Done Loud. What was it? 2 months ago. So we have like another 3 months. We should be seeing some fruits of some people's labor coming in.
Oh, for sure.
We're gonna have like a Done Loud photo contest. Mike and everyone else who's.
I already think Mike's gonna win that one for sure. 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Some people might think you're rigging the contest.
Never. Yeah, but congrats on that. I was glad that he showed up because I was trying to make it easy. I figured we'd all be at the Indo Expo, and then he said he wasn't showing up, and then I walk in, and there he is. Boom.
Yeah, maybe you want to grow it Done Loud
I had to bring it the next day.
Yeah, let's get it in the garden. Let's get it rolling.
Now we're talking.
Some Done Loud ambrosia. We need it.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do we get that seed into mitts? What do we have to do?
Now you're really breaking rules, dude. Jesus Christ. You are officially.
That's it. I'm over the limit.
Way over. Like, that was like a. If it wasn't your birthday, you may get slapped.
He's out.
You may have gotten slapped. No, there's no way to do that. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there is.
Impossible.
It can't be impossible.
Impossible.
Unless you could take a time machine. Which is usually the best. That's the best ticket for that. Which is the way that they make it set up here. Like you don't literally have to know what you were gonna have in like 3 years if you really wanted to just follow the letter of the law, because they don't really give you the option. And it's just really strange. It's like one of those if you had a restaurant, they would never ask you to decide for the rest of eternity your menu. You know what I mean? So you need to know every single thing you're gonna have from the front to the back. And you can't change it, and you'd be like, "Fuck," and that's kind of the way they do it here, or a lot of places. Some places are a little more flexible, but that whole immaculate conception idea, the way they kind of do it, is just stupid.
That's ridiculous.
Give it a little time; that'll change.
And the problem is that of course the minute it goes federally legal, then of course there'll be a center spot, and people can send seeds from A to B and all that. But at the end of the day, it's kind of it's a bit ridiculous when we're trying to create a new industry from something that's there, but yet hasn't been, there's no illegal sort of way to bring it in unless you like a bird dropped it from the fucking sky or something that happened to come by.
Nobody's figured out a way
and dropped it in your zone,
to bring it in under a good tax schedule where the government can get their piece. Because, there was a meme going around, right? They said for years they wanted to stop us from smoking. Now they want to be our dealer. Mm-hmm. So that's really the way it is. You have to show them a path for them to monetize it, and they'll be fine with it. nobody's figured out how to monetize bringing genetics into the system, I guess, and that'll be the next hurdle.
That's when it sucks.
They'll get there.
Who wants?
Who wants to go back to days of past? I mean, I don't want to have a dealer again and a guy I had to beep, or call and meet in some clandestine spot, or have to drive to some part of New York City and flash my lights, and someone would come out.
There's going to be like an amusement park in the future, and that's going to be the rides. People are going to experience buying weed on the street.
The cannabis experience.
Oh,
You're
bro.
sitting there watching basketball at your dealer's house for a half hour, like they're making dinner.
He has to talk. Families around and everything. You wait. Just sell me my weed. I want to get at the.
And there'll be like the video
here.
game versions of it, and just like standing you just sit around and like in a park waiting to like figure out who's who. Like look, you get the zoom function, zoom up on their face, be like, I don't know, is that guy? Should we ask him? You ask the wrong guy and you get arrested, and then it's like, damn, arrested again. What I mean? Got to pick. There's.
That's a great. We didn't talk about that right now until we get a chance to.
Don't go out and make that game.
That's our game.
That's a winner.
Yeah, that's a winner right
that's
there.
That's a winner right there, 100%.
The guy, you got to walk up to your dealer and say, hey, can I get the done deal on that?
Exactly.
A little discount right there on that.
The done deal.
That's like a cheat code right there.
So do you know about the done deal?
I don't know about the done deal.
So the done deal is a discount of whatever you wanted to offer to anybody who walks into one of your dispensaries and says, listen, I heard about you on the Adam Dunn show, and I'm here for the done deal.
And you're like, fuck.
We're going to have the best done deal
Bam!
in Colorado. That's for
mic drop. Give me a mic. I'll drop it right. Boom, poof.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. That's
we'll
what we wanna
finalize that.
See?
Nice, dude.
Oh.
And then we never heard from him again. He's like,
There'll be a done deal. That's a promise.
The number you were calling has been disconnected.
I feel like that's your done deal right there.
Shit. Got away again.
But yeah, that would be very appreciated, and that would make it easy for people when they show up to Colorado from out of town, because they're always like, "Where do I go? What do I do?" And you just like, "Well,
Well, do tell them where your dispensaries are again.
Sure. We got one in downtown Denver, 2251 South Broadway. We have one in Colorado Springs and one in Pueblo.
Pretty well. That's good coverage. And you just need
There
Fort
you go.
Collins, and you'll be covering.
Yeah,
Boulder.
We're working on.
Nobody really wants to be in Boulder anyway.
No, we got 14er in Boulder.
It's too overregulated.
Yeah.
You don't want to start a new business. That's like the worst place to think
It's
about.
tough.
Like it's like the hardest one. Like you want to go.
What do you mean? You don't want to work in a jurisdiction where they drive around with a little centometer, and if you have too much scent coming out of your business, they fine you? You're not okay with that?
They also have some weird rule where like any manifest or anything that we transfer product, we have to send an email to the local police department. So it's the only only in Boulder do we have to do that.
Yeah.
And so like they know what's going on. They know what's moving around Boulder.
That's really lame.
It is really lame.
It's like this when you just like, wait a minute, I did not sign up to do this. Like this is like narking myself out to the like, hey, could you narc yourself out at the same time? Like, great.
Yeah, that's what they make you do in Boulder.
Yep, exactly.
Ugh.
So technically, every time you deliver something, you're a federal criminal.
Yeah.
And you got it.
And then
you put it on paper.
And and you document it.
Wow.
Don't you have the right against self-incrimination?
Yes.
I mean, right? Shouldn't you?
Theoretically, you should.
But then again, nobody ever wins arguments with any
doubt if you
legislators
sent,
or
like
police here in
I
Colorado.
think every time you did it and you sent the cops, like, I plead the fifth.
They'd be okay with that.
They'd be like, maybe we can't, maybe we need to check this out.
How about this? Before you go, maybe for some of us who are not Adam Dunn-esque level Jedi fucking extractors, all the diamonds that we've been seeing, crystals in extracts, it's sort of like been a dick measuring contest between extract companies, right? You want to walk some people through how you actually, is that a trade secret or anything? I mean, just because I look at your extracts and sometimes I have bought a 4-gram jar and it is one big, huge crystal in the middle surrounded by sauce. Looks like an Hawaiian island,
Right. And crystallization is just it's different depending on strain, and terpene. It's like, to me, all genetics are different in how they crystallize. Some stuff is, much better to make those large diamonds than others. But I mean, no, it's not you can find any sort of process in terms of extraction you can find online these days. You can find SOPs online. You can find how to make diamonds, and any sort of thing like that, you can find an SOPM.
You do any videos on YouTube people can watch?
We don't. I don't personally. I would say my best recommendation for you if you're trying to learn how to make hash or make diamonds is a forum called Future 4200. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that forum, but it's a forum where everybody is on there participating and helping each other out, and you can learn a lot on that forum, and that would be my best recommendation of where to get started on something like that.
Sick. Thank you so much. I mean, I really appreciate everything all the concentrates you do. You allow somebody like me who used to hack his lungs up all the time to actually have the ability to enjoy this concentrate, enjoy the terpenes, and not sit there for 5 minutes coughing. So I truly dig it, and thank you so much for this jar right here.
No worries. I'm going to leave the rest of this with you guys too. So you guys
he can't. So what are we going to do about this cake situation? Because now he's going to leave. He needed to have some cake.
I have some cake over there that he can take.
Cut cake?
I'll take some cupcakes.
You have stunt cake?
Go
what is it going on?
Stunt cake.
Is that stunt cake?
Unknown grower right here who I won't name. Go ahead and pull some cake out here.
Stunt cakes?
And
what is this, like Vanna White? Oh my God. Okay, that's good. That's cool. That's a good idea. But now he doesn't get to doesn't get to cut Yoda's throat like he was planning on.
True.
We'll cut Yoda's throat later.
What time? Okay. Anyway,
You're more than welcome to. It's not coming home.
It's not.
Yeah, no. This is for everyone to eat. And then Dr. Mark's here too. He would if we want to have somebody come on and talk about cannabis psychedelics, I will force him to come on the air right now, and talk it through.
Let's do it because he's got to run. He's got to run. It's 5:30.
Thank you.
I want to thank Brent for coming in.
Thank you, Adam.
And don't forget to take off the headphones like he's driving away on his car at the gas station. Like, that guy just took off.
I did that.
Yeah, he did.
No, I've done that.
I have too. Oh my God.
Sorry, I'm ruining things left and right around
It's
here.
okay. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, come on, jump in here. See, I knew it'd be a star-studded event because Dave's here and they're just coming in.
Good, come sit. I'm gonna throw you on the spot.
Nice.
Yeah, man. So this is Dr. Mark Bronstein. He actually is a cannabis psychotherapist, psychiatrist.
Psycho or something like that.
No, he's a full-on
psycho.
He's a doctor.
I prescribe cannabis instead of drugs.
There you go. And we met in Malta. He gave a speech that was arguably the one to show up for out of all the speakers there over a 3-day event. And hanging out with him, people just walked up to him all day long and just said, "Man, I really appreciated your speech. I enjoyed so." We have the bully pulpit here and
awesome.
Adam and
Oh
yeah, put your headphones on.
Yeah, grab the headphones. Join the party here.
He also does MMJ evaluations right here in Colorado and Durango,
and up in Boulder.
And up in Boulder.
And you're from Colorado originally, or you're from where you're from originally?
I'm from Manhattan.
Manhattan, okay.
I've been out here about 20 years.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I've been here 10, so I'm from New York originally also, but from upstate. But so you came? Did you come here? So when you came here, it was like pre legalization, obviously. But you were,
But it was right after medical.
Okay.
So I had become approved. So part of my reason after finishing medical school and my training as a psychiatrist, I wanted to move somewhere where I could prescribe medical marijuana as well.
And in the early days, what was the protocol? What was the protocol there? How did that all work when you didn't have like such any obvious sort of like system?
It was really restrictive and was open to a lot less people and a much smaller number. It wasn't until around 2010 that we started doing a lot more medical cards. And it was a lot more broad reaching, and people had places to actually purchase their medication. Mm-hmm. Back in the early days, it was a recommendation to grow marijuana or have a caretaker, very different than now.
And so now you're getting more hamstringed, though, by the government as far as being able to let people grow extended plant counts, things like that. What are you seeing in that? Because that seems to be like where Colorado got a little bit, like when I first moved here, I thought this was the best model. Then they kind of it seems like the dispensaries got bigger and they kind of put a little squeeze on the growers where they kind of said, and then they got that lobbyist who came around and said, you know what, these guys probably, they're sending it out of state, which is not even true half the time. It's like, especially when you're growing for yourself, you're like,
But when you're growing 99 plants that people were, man, I think a large amount of that, from my experience, was the gray market. Most of those people I met that were coming in for cards, they weren't doing it for personal production. 99 plants, unless someone's really into genetics, right, and they're doing a lot.
Well, that's my problem. Is I like as a breeder, it's like fuck. 99 plants is it's hamstring actually at that point. You know what I mean? It's like,
Out of the people getting 99s, how many do you think were like you?
I mean, it's hard to say.
Two.
As far as, okay, well,
Three.
Small. But then you have the rest of the people doing it illegally and not paying the taxes, like those of us that own legal cannabis.
Well, yeah, I think
businesses do.
I don't mind opening. I don't mind opening my doors to people if there's a like and showing them what I'm doing and then them realizing, because I had the same problem in Holland where it was a 50 plant count and I had 54 and I had a fire and the cops were there and they fucking had me in handcuffs. You know how many plants you have? And I'm like, I don't know, like 30, I said, or something stupid. You know what I mean? I went, these guys yells at me. He's like, you got 54. And I'm like, yeah, we're talking like 4 more plants than the legal limit. But look at them. They're all moms and they're all males and females and none of them are clones. And then they were like, huh? And they couldn't believe it because it was like, well, I go, we're going to test it. And I said, okay, go ahead and test it. And they tested it. And then I said, don't kill the plants. And they had to hold my plants for like until they got the test back. So they kept them for a couple days. And then they were like, holy shit, you're right. They're all different. You can have them back. And I was like, cool. And then they brought them all back. And that was dope. And it was like, I was just doing what I was saying. So if that was the thing where they said, okay, you can't have a bunch of clones. It has to be, for you could have a subcategory of breeding and say, okay, I want 200 plants. I'm breeding. And here's my, I'd follow rules in that department because I don't need to. I'm not trying to do production half the time. It's like a lot of times I'm just trying to do like literally keep things alive, and it sucks if you can't have backups of your backups because if you don't, just like anything, like having any kind of data, if you don't have a backup, you're just riding on that last one. You're like riding so dangerously close to, and then you have to give it to a friend, and then that friend fucks it all up and gives you some bugs or something. You know what I mean? So you want to be self-sufficient. So
it screwed it up for you.
Oh, totally.
Right? The gray market and all those
Killed
people
it.
doing it legally ruined it for the people that really wanted to do that and wanted to make those genetics. I get it.
But I think also the problem is that they didn't really even acknowledge that. They just kind of go like bottom line, like, okay, you know what? It's going to be 12 plants per person, and that's it.
And only 6 can be flowering, or only 3 can be flowering, and you can't have this and you can't have that.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I feel like it's been a weird market.
And the doctors screwed it up, man. By the doctors not
Just
really
writing too many-
just writing it, about doctors charging different amounts for different plant counts they would recommend. So the greed got in with the physicians, and they didn't accurately look at who really needed 99s.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the medical community was largely also to blame for the cracking down.
Right, and I think also like it kind of killed the idea of if you wanted to do juicing, let's say, there's no way you could, juice enough plants to make, because the thing is you don't even want them to be in full flower. You want like a couple weeks into flower, then you juice them, and then you got new ones coming in, and then those flower a couple weeks, and then you juice, and then you get the maximum like cannabinoids with the least amount of bitterness, and there's like a sweet spot there. But you go through a plant a day, and that's like easily.
So let me ask.
That's 30 plants right there.
Let me ask you this, because I feel pretty comfortable recommending 24 plants to people who are in need when appropriate. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about the ability to make medication with 24?
As long as they don't limit my space, then I'm cool. Because the minute you start going 150 square feet and 20, and you're like, dude,
big trees, 30. You can make 30-foot tall ganja trees, man.
Then I'm stoked. And I'm totally down. Yeah, like anything. Like 12 is like really tight. 24 would be actually good because you could have a backup rotation going and you could feel like, okay, because that's the biggest problem too, is like when you start saying you can't be vegging, then you have to like start all over again every fucking time. Like there's dumb rules or you're just like, well, I mean, I'm still grateful we can still grow because that would be even worse. But it's also like the cops don't know what's going on.
And they don't care.
And they just say what they want to say. Like, so they go, it's 12 per household. Doesn't matter if you're, because, I've seen that situation too. Where
That's in Boulder.
Yes. So anywhere like Denver, same thing. Anywhere that's really like heavy.
They just don't want people moving to town just to bust a house out anymore. I mean, that they're
No,
trying to
I get
legislate
it.
that out.
I get it, and it's I've seen enough bad grow rooms in my life to go, yeah, that's not a good idea. Like people tearing out fucking rentals and just like going balls out, and that's a bad thing, and that should never, that's disrespectful to the guys who are there. So I get it, but like if you get into a deal where it's like, you say you can't, that everybody who lives in this, you're basically saying if you live in the city, you can't have that at all. You can't even think about taking care of yourself if that's what you do.
I agree to that level, but there were people blowing themselves up all over Boulder. I mean, they go to that hotel down by 36, they blow the side of it off, and until they made butane blasting a felony, they were doing it all the time. So there has to be a balance between legislation, regulation, enforcement, and what's, when talking about adding genetics to the system, what is just truly just a dumb rule to have.
Well, also to think about what was the purpose of this in the first place. It was for patients. And so I think if we can keep that in the forefront of our minds, patients' rights and what did they need, then this will be done right.
Right.
Yeah, but unfortunately,
done right.
Done right.
Ooh, hashtag.
Oh yeah, if somebody wants to come in and get an MMJ evaluation and they ask for the done deal, could you give them a couple of bucks off the evaluation?
I'd love to see that happen.
Oh, see,
Bring it.
Tell them where they would go. What's your phone number in Boulder?
Or, so
Where do you live? Where do you live? What's your phone number, social security number, and bank account?
So I practice down in Durango, and you can contact me.
It's only a 5-hour drive from Colorado. You'll save $4. It's a 10-hour turnaround.
He has an office in Boulder too,
and in Boulder at Medicinal Mindfulness, and we also do cannabis-assisted psychotherapy.
Oh, that's cool. Tell us about that a little bit.
So cannabis is also a psychedelic. Let's not forget that. It's the original psychedelic, kind of the OG. And so when people talk about doing psilocybin journeys and ketamine journeys and ayahuasca journeys, you can do that with cannabis too.
Just gotta eat it. That's a total edible thing, I think.
Oh, we actually use a special blend of 9 different strains, man, to come up with a really special ceremonial psychedelic blend.
And it's different.
Yeah.
You
Nice.
do different ways of consumption, or you kind of like you layer it, or do you kind of just do like focus on one thing, like say?
So mix them all together.
Yeah.
Mix the strains together, kind of make your special ceremonial sacred blend, and then have hits while giving honor. Usually depending on how many people can have. We have it kind of designed for 7 hits with the 7 different directions. But depending on someone's tolerance, some people need less and some people need more. But I've seen really profound experiences with cannabis as a psychedelic, comparable to any of the other psychedelics.
I think, well, for me, it's like strictly edible. When I eat edibles, it's just like, because then I get to that point where it's usually the whole thing with psychedelics is the minute you forget why you're high is when you're as high as, that's when you're really high. Like you're like, what the fuck? Oh yeah, I ate that about an hour, 2 hours ago. That's about right. Oh, it makes all sense now. But it takes you in that little moment. There could be like 10 minutes of just like complete, like fucking, like what the fuck is going on? And in those 10 minutes, you're higher than you've ever been. That feels like it because you're in this weird like forgot you got dosed. You know what I mean? And then and then with edibles, because of that wait on, waiting for an hour, sometimes even longer. But then all of a sudden, you are like done. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's the most close to psychedelic, I would say. But smoking it, I don't think it would take one. It would have to be pretty damn strong weed for 7 hits.
Big fucking joint.
But taken with the right intention. I mean, think about the intentionality with cannabis and how when you think about sativa and indica, what really does that mean? And
Nothing.
But so much of that is when you use cannabis thinking it's an indica and you're going to be relaxed. Well, you know what's going to happen? You're going to be relaxed. And if you smoke something thinking it's going to give you energy, a lot of that's going to happen as well. So it's about cannabis opening you up.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting when you put intention into anything. I mean, like when people smoke DMT and they want to do it and they're just sitting in a tent at a festival and it's like, whoa, bro. Like but if you actually like took 20 minutes to fucking do it and had somebody who really like knew how to get you in the right state of mind and fucking, got to and then really you get so much more out of it because half the time it's the distraction or something when you're like not thinking about your setting too much. You're kind of just
Absolutely.
like, I mean, we're all guilty of it. I mean, we definitely took mushrooms and did all sorts of things in the days when I would be like, yeah, it probably isn't the best place after. And usually when you figure it out, it's like, fuck, all I want to do is be home with a bunch of weed right now. And that's like in my mind, like, oh, I just want to be home with weed. I just want to be home with weed. And I've literally had that where I've been like tripping balls and just been like, fuck. Like if I have, and again, we're back to this whole point. If I don't have weed, I just go home. That's pretty much my story of my life. Like, go home. It's time to go home, Adam. You have no weed. You have to go home. So I don't know. That's my that's my like ceremony is 24/7. So.
Well, I think so much of a lot of our experiences with these medicines have been recreationally in the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now bring it into a more therapeutic, intentional setting. We get so much more out of it. So I'm really excited for this next generation of psychedelic users and what they might bring to the world.
I think the cool thing is that there's toleration for everybody now. It seems like when it comes to like drugs and now everybody's like ayahuasca is so trendy that it's like I'm waiting for the magazines to start coming out soon. Like they have like CBD magazine, like 9 of them. You go to like any supermarket, any kind of like organic supermarket, half the magazines are CBD magazines, and they all have the same name. And you're like, wait a minute, they all have the name CBD in their name, and there's 3 of them, and they all write CBD really big, and then they write their name like next to it real small or something in styly or whatever. So basically, it just looks like you see CBD, CBD, CBD. Then you look over there, whole shelf of CBD. And you look over here, whole shelf of mushrooms. Look over here. You're like, holy fuck, dude. We're gonna be like, it's getting to the point where we're gonna all us people who've been doing things like we're gonna be like, this is so lame now. Everybody's doing it. You can just go. It's like, God, this is kind of weak. And like Boulder's like the first place probably to do that. Like that'll be the first place that'll tap out. People will be starting to move out just because they don't like all the people that are doing what they're doing. Like we used to be just kind of cool and
we were on the fringe at one time.
And now all of a sudden we're like so in the center.
Mainstream,
totally mainstream.
It's weird. Anyway, but what do you think about with the whole legalization of, or not legalization, but the sort of Colorado or Denver at least decrim and mushrooms coming into the forefront. Now it's like everywhere. You see how fast that shit just popped off? It's like, it's awesome. It's like,
what a great start. I mean, that's how cannabis started, right? Started with decriminalization.
And it's moving faster than that even.
Moving faster. And I think a lot of that is cannabis has set the momentum.
Yeah, we created the frame. Well, no, we were the mycelium for the mushrooms is what happened. We created the little pathways, made it really easy for them. They're like, actually, just talk to her because she wrote the bill and it passed. And if you can write a weed bill and then you guys already got that, boom, boom. And that's what's happening now with the mushrooms, I think, is like we've already created this whole like grassroots, this is how we make shit legal. And so anybody who's getting into the mushrooms, 90% of them are weed people, right? So like
they just did a South Park on that where Randy gets cocaine legalized.
We always say that every time we're on the show. Every time we're on the show, he says they just did a South Park. And I'm like, see, I'm like a week behind South Park.
You are.
But I don't watch it. That's the problem. Fuck. Those guys
they actually came to Randy to get help because he knew how to push a bill through. I know what to do. Here we go.
That's true. Well, there you go. They were on point as usual. But it's so weird how it's so weird how like weed or cannabis, I should say, made it possible for hemp, which is stupid. That doesn't make any sense, right? So like hemp should have been legal first, right? We should have been doing hemp. We should have been all in hemp. Then all of a sudden we should have figured out like, hey, we can do the CBD thing too. So like first we should be growing fields of old school hemp and trying to make fucking
paper, fuel, and
fiber, all the bullshit but the stuff that we need to do because it's the bullshit in the world right now, like oil and fucking all this, plastic. Like, okay, if we could replace all the plastic and all the oil, wouldn't that be the first thing we'd go for? No, we're going to go for the fucking CBDs. and
make a CBD straw.
And we're going to overload the world with CBD, and we're going to forget about THC, even though THC is the real medicine, like the full-on, like that shit works. There's no doubt about that. CBD, it works, but it works better when it's with THC. So you kind of need that to make that work.
100%.
And now we're like focusing on all this other shit. But plastic is like the other gigantic. We have whales full of plastic. And we have like all this fucking obvious, like everyone knows that's the biggest fucking threat probably to us more than any climate change. Is just our stupidity of like buying shit and going, well, that was cool. We eat yogurt and now we throw it away. And now it just like sits in a fucking ocean next to, some place in Indonesia or whatever. And it's like miles of just that. And you're like, okay, so we'll kill ourselves with that before we have any chance of really doing other shit probably.
Well, and that's where I hope psychedelics can play a part, getting us to think differently, getting scientists to think outside of the box and maybe do something different about
Yeah.
plastics, man.
Yeah, because we know mushrooms will do that. They'll take care of that.
Right.
Mushrooms will do everything. Like, so that's the coolest thing about that is like once we open up the doors through this, like, and again, it's going to be the stupid part where psychedelics are going to make it so that we're going to go, you know what, you can make fucking packaging for your TV with that too, and you're like, what? You mean you could get high and make packaging for TVs? People are like, fuck yeah. And then all of a sudden they're like, so again, it takes the weed or the fucking mushrooms to get people to think about like other things you can do besides that.
You're Carl Spackler right now. You're going the feather bed bent, and which means you can play the back nine on it and then get stoned to bejesus.
Again, I'm telling you.
It's a California feather bed bent and a Kentucky sensimilla.
Well, it's the thing of like, just that we got two sort of plants, maybe lots of different species, but we got two different things that like a mushroom and a plant that'll fucking cover all the bases besides, a few items that we can't fucking make with them. And the rest of it, that's what we should be focusing on. But instead we're fucking,
I got a guy.
Like overkilling on the one thing that like we do. Like, oh, that works. We'll do that. Like in Holland, it happened with mushrooms where everybody and their brother had a smart shop in a year's time, and you were like, none of these you walk in, there's all these Indian guys and stuff, and like none of them have ever done any of the things. They just sell mushrooms all day, and they tell people, yeah, you should take like 2 or 3, and I'm like, oh my god,
Dude,
you guys are telling everybody the wrong shit. Like,
I was just there last week, and I thought it was horrific, man.
so you felt it.
No, I did. I saw like 4 times as many smart shops as cannabis shops. I saw them grouped with like you could buy weed, alcohol, prostitutes, and mushrooms all in the same block. And I think that's fucked. There was nothing like sacred or ceremonial.
Yeah, there's
about
far
that.
and few between. There's
Oh,
far
yeah,
and
that's
few
all
between
done.
shops. There's like the Conscious Dreams is like one of the few that actually kind of from the beginning did it right. But at the same time, if you go to their shop across the street, next door, on both sides are other people doing their own crappy versions because they're trying to get all their business, because that's how Holland is. They have no respect for that kind of stuff. So
They just want to make money, just the commercialized aspect of it, right?
I got it.
It's all you.
But in general, I know that started, I guess, around 95, 96 is when they started with the first kind of mushrooms over there. And then we were selling them out of our shop right out of the way, but we were trying to be really fucking honest with, like, I literally took every mushroom we sold and I sat and I did a little chart and I was like, how high am I? How fucking long is this lasting? And I gave a little, and then I created a graph after and kind of like showed people, and it was like, this is basically how high, this is how long. And I could talk to Italians, Koreans, fucking, didn't matter where you're from. I'd show them a little graph and they'd go like, this is how high. And they'd be like, okay. And they'd see like giggles. And fucking, like, this is when you get the little, you get the moment where you feel the vibe, and then you get to the point where you're laughing with your buddies. Now you're maybe like a little bit off to the side. This one's where you're fucking like, you probably should be home. You're tweaking. And you got, there was like some that got there, but then it didn't last very long. Like the Hawaiians were just like a nice, perfect. Hawaiians were the best. Like the Hawaiians were 0.9 of a gram, and you were there, like perfect where you wanted to be. You almost thought you were going to lose it, but you didn't quite, and then you dropped down. The other ones were going to have like a double deal where you were like, like the Colombians were like like the second part was just as high as the first, and you have about an hour and a half in between where you're like, oh dude, I'm good, I think I'm good, and all of a sudden it comes right back, and like just that warning helped so many people where they were like, okay, thanks for that, because I thought I totally was looking at your chart while we were tripping, and I'm like thinking to myself, oh my god, this is pretty funny.
Didn't Jack do that years and years ago when it regarding how stoned he was? I mean, that's how somebody first found him. He wrote that article for the paper. It was like he just described being stoned and super stoned.
Yeah, he did the grass book is what he had at the beginning. Yeah, exactly.
So you made the Jack Herer equivalency for mushrooms.
No, he's already out there. Paul's there, damn it, but he's the real deal.
So how do we get people to figure out how to deal with the plastic situation, man, and not see it as an intoxicant? That's what I'm concerned about.
Well, I mean, it's just hemp. The thing is, you got to grow hemp on the tens of thousands of acres to make hemp plastic even make a dent into the reality of what people are doing.
What I mean is about using psychedelics to get people to think in a way.
Oh,
to use psychedelics more as a powerful tool to change rather than an intoxicant.
Well, I think that the first thing is we don't do shops like they did in Amsterdam, exactly like we were saying, because that didn't work at all. That just basically, I mean, it did prove a point. It proved that like a lot of people can take psychedelics, and you don't like. It's not like the number of people that I saw freaking out in Amsterdam was very low. You know what I mean? Of course, people go, "Dude, you don't work in a hospital," and it's like, yeah, but I've sat and worked. I've like sold a shitload to people and not had people come back and say,
You freaked me out, man. You broke me.
Now I had one story which was crazy that was over there, which was like a nut story. Couple came in, bought some mushrooms, they were really, really cool. We were hanging out, and like the next day they came in, and the guy walks in first, and then the girl comes in, and she's on crutches, both legs broken, like looks like she's been like, oh my, it's like, what the fuck happened to you? And she's like, they took the mushrooms, took a cab to their hotel. Were coming up when they got to the place. She ran into the room, and if you've ever been to Amsterdam, it'll sound very familiar that they had a bed right up against the window, and the window open in the summertime, and it's on the red light district, almost like near the fucking Sensi Seeds. And she ran in the room, jumped on the bed, and went straight out the window and landed on a cab 2 fucking floors down. Broke both her legs like while tripping balls, you know what I mean? And it was just like, oh my God, like what fucking bad luck, right? And they were still smiling. I couldn't fucking believe it. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You're still laughing and smiling? They were like, it was somehow the cab broke her fall. Because it didn't have like a thing on top, like an American cab thing. It just was like an old, just like and somehow the way she landed, she didn't, like she would have been really hurt if she hit the ground, concrete like that. She hit the car and it kind of compacted thing, but she still broke her legs. But it was crazy. It was like one of the craziest fucking things because you can just already picture it, like, because in Holland the windows are real low and it's like, it doesn't, and you could just, they're really big, and if there's no ventilation, so they probably had them just wide open. Oh, God. And she just went, Shit. And that's the kind of shit that happens when you're tripping. I'm telling you, it's like that would never happen normally, right? You wouldn't actually bounce out the window.
Well, no, normally it would just happen because of pure stupidity.
It would, but it somehow
at least you can blame it now on.
But it gets channeled to you. It's weird.
Magic.
Like it's just
magic.
weird.
Yeah.
Like it comes down the street like a fucking. You're like, do you see the? Like all of a sudden it happens, and then
you see the size of that chicken?
No, but the weirdest shit will happen. This is like that's for
it's
sure.
From Young Guns. Mark is looking all confused.
So do you mix? Do you mix any? So you're mixing all sorts of psychedelics?
No, man.
At the moment, no.
No, I'm a legal doctor, and so
hopefully you can prescribe people to grow mushrooms just in Denver. You can technically. Why not?
There's some questionable legalities about that. So
do it.
So ketamine is a medication.
Oh well, yeah. I'm not saying people should. I mean, well, then again, 2 is listening, and he would be like, "Fuck yeah."
Please go ahead.
But right now, besides cannabis as a psychedelic, we can use ketamine as a psychedelic. When dosed correctly, ketamine is a profound psychedelic, man.
Well, I agree. that I agree.
So we can do psychotherapy with those medications right now legally, while making the protocols for that when psilocybin, MDMA, LSD do come on legally. You can just
when's that going to happen?
Different molecules. MDMA and psilocybin should be legal for medical use within the next 5 years. From everything I'm hearing around the world.
I think so too, and it's interesting how our timing with 2020 rolling in right now, and like the kind of clear vision that everybody's getting, and then the fact that people are starting to get towards like plant medicine, eating more plant. Like it's like duh, like we're kind of like hello everybody, and it's really like the classic when I was growing up. Because I was literally born in 1969 Woodstock, right? So couldn't get more like hippie vibed in the mentality. And my mom lived with a bunch of people, and it was like just like that kind of vibe thing anyway. And it was pretty much the epitome of all that. And those people, we all the things that are like right now just getting sort of recognized. That's 50 years ago are now getting. So we're always that far ahead, and that was pretty much like. A lot of people's awakenings were like, oh, all this shit doesn't work. And it just took 50 years for that shit to come to like a grinding halt. And now we're at that zone where all of a sudden it's like, well, this is an option. And we've created the framework with hemp to deliver on all that. So it could be a pretty awesome time. I think it's one of those weird Like,
It's an enlightenment moment. People are accepting the fact that, 11 years ago, you went to jail in the state of Colorado for cannabis, if you're a recreational user. It's slowly progressed, and now, it's everybody smokes. It's all over the place. Well, eventually we will get to the point where it will be the same thing of acceptance with different psychedelics and different substances.
Soon, man.
Yeah.
Cannabis paved the way, and we need them right now. If we don't have all these things right now with the climate crisis, who knows what might occur?
I agree 100%. I spoke to not at this past Indo, but the one before that, there was the guy that made the bicycle frame out of hemp. And he made a snowboard, and his big thing was roofing tile, right? If we could just get new homes to just that one product can put a dent in it. There is a future for it, and I actually think, I know we make fun of CBD right now, but I think that's what's really making global acceptance, because so many people fall into CBD before they realize where it comes from.
It did that. No, but the ironic part is that it took cannabis to get to the point where hemp was even accepted. So it's like,
It's
wait.
crazy.
So we did that. We kind of did all that ass backwards. And we're doing the same thing with hemp. Now everybody's going for CBD or other minor cannabis. Like now all of a sudden it's like, dude, I found CBT or CBD.
CBD
It's like,
EFG.
okay, whatever. And at the end of the day, some of those might turn out to be the shit, and it might even be something really amazing, but we're still ignoring, for the most part, the rest of the plant. Like there's a couple groups. There's like one in Colorado, there's one lignin separator in Fort Lupton, right? And that's it. So there's the only place you can go and process your hemp and get separate the herds and things, and at the end of the day, get the lignins out of that, and get something that might be sellable in some way, shape, or form. But there's really no market for any of that stuff yet, and that's kind of sad, because that should be the building block to the whole fucking thing, because then you could be building houses out of the shit properly and doing, and that, because I think building materials are the key to the whole thing, just because all of those things are huge, and they are the difference between like a healthy house and a dirty house, and like there's so much to learn from that, but they haven't really got there yet. They're kind of in the zone of like barely even thinking about hempcrete.
Well, 3 years ago is right when Sanjay Gupta did his first report on Charlotte, right? So we're babies, we're infants. It took a mainstream doctor to come on TV to talk about one sick person and the effects that a specific plant had on this little girl.
Yeah.
And now we have this global firestorm of acceptance. And so the way it happened, I don't care. We're here now, and there's this ball rolling, collecting momentum, and whatever cannabinoid they find next, I hope they plant another 100,000 acres, million acres, because eventually we're going to get to that point where people will go, you know what? This is great for building material. This is great for replacing everything we use a plastic for right now. Has a hemp replacement. Okay, we started it. It's coming. I don't know when it's going to be.
Well, also the money, once the money flows into the research, like I think every day there'll be another like holy shit moment. Like it's going to be, because the whole thing about hemp in general, and I noticed it from the very beginning, was whatever you did with it, as long as you didn't like go completely against the grain and completely fuck it all up, as long as it was like whatever, if it worked for what it did work, it somehow was the best. Like it was like, well, that's the best of that. And it was weird. It was like, it makes document quality paper, makes the best, like makes the highest quality seed, which has the best nutritional value, which if you put it side by side with everything else, even if something might have a higher number on something, it'll be more easily digested and actually work without even having to be, everything about it is just like amazing. And at the end of the day, you're like, holy shit, this shit is just like high quality, no matter how you slice it. So we're lucky because we got dealt a good card compared to like soy. Soy is a shit plant. It's a shit plant. Everything about it is shit. Like when you start to do the details, you're like, actually, it's really bad for you. And you're like, fuck. What do you mean? What do you mean it's bad for me? Yeah, and you're gonna grow tits, and you got this. And you got like pretty much everything about it has something wrong. Whereas, and there's nothing good coming out of it. You don't hear like all of a sudden good news, like, hey, by the way, Whereas with hemp, you kind of like, it's been held back for so long, the information, because every time they tried to do something to figure out that it was bad, it would be like, actually, it's the best, and it worked better than anything else, and you're like, fuck, we just foiled again, you know what I mean? So now it's just a matter of people putting it to fucking use, and when they do, I bet they're going to be like, never even thought about it. All of a sudden, it's going to be the best in glues, or like the things we can like be. Yeah, of course, it's the best. Makes the best glue of some sort, because it's fucking. Just think about the plant itself. It's got so many qualities in that world anyway that you think if you got anything that could be replaced by hemp, it'll probably help that product be a better product.
I'm waiting for Burger King to release the Impossible Hemp Burger, right? Plant based. Who knows?
Great.
Let them do it. Let them do it.
Lowest common denominator on that.
I don't. You know what? Who does it really matter?
But you do see like one of the funny things about that is the Impossible Burger and the fucking Beyond Burger and all that. Like, okay, Beyond Burger is better than the Impossible Burger, but the one thing that you should know in general, if you're thinking about being vegan or vegetarian or just eating more healthy, is that anything processed sucks, right? So at the end of the day, unless you make your own burger somehow and you know exactly what you put in it and you process it in your own house, so you can, like, the minute you eat anything processed, you're kind of like playing their game in a sense, because there's something in there, like, I don't care, it doesn't matter what it is. I'm always like wary of anything processed, if possible. Just try to eat more of your own food.
If I can complain for a minute as a vegetarian,
yes,
those are like some of the only burgers you can find around now. Everybody wants to sell the Impossible and the Beyond, and they taste like meat so intensely, man.
I don't mind that they taste like meat because I'm also a vegetarian but I eat fish, so
You're not a vegan?
No, never have been. I've been called a vegan a million times because everyone thinks like just because I don't eat meat.
They don't get it.
But in general, I don't mind. Like I'm a totally guilty of being into all of those fake meats at some point. But I also cut back a lot just because I realized, like, wait a minute, you know what? It doesn't matter. The fact that it's processed, you're kind of like selling out at that point. So you're better off just to learn how to cook your own shit. And you can do it. I've done a bunch. The only thing though, is I tried to make my own fucking Seitan's products. Like with my own source, my own fucking wheat gluten. Do you know how hard it is to find like really true organic wheat vegan?
Tell me about that.
Like,
obviously it's hard.
The cost factors are just ridiculous. By the time you actually get it, you're like, okay, so if I buy this, it's going to cost me $20 to make something I can buy for like $3. You know what I mean? And you're like, and I have to do it all myself. And at the end of the day, it makes it really, because of the fact that they've got glyphosate and everything, right? So there's nothing you can find. There's no wheat in the world without glyphosate in it. And like the wheat gluten is like taking it to the next. It's like making the hash. It's like making the best hash of the worst thing, and just like trying to find like of the thing that's been the most poisoned, and trying to figure out how to make.
Isn't that the chemical that's causing the gluten allergy in everybody right now? They're saying
exactly
that if you had a pre-1968 modified wheat, that you wouldn't have these gluten sensitivities.
Exactly, and that's the problem. Like, it's so obvious in that sense, where you get like when you actually do your homework and like look at it, you're like, fuck, it's hard. It is hard work to be properly vegetarian or vegan or anything plant-based if you also are going to try to avoid like glyphosate or any of these forever chemicals like Teflon. We all got Teflon poisoning, right? Every single one of us has got. There's not a single person in this room guaranteed that doesn't have Teflon in their system, which is any amount is a poison, because it's literally like forever chemicals that don't go away. But it's also in the North Pole, and it's in the South Pole.
Haven't visited there lately,
and
though.
it's on every place that you can't even imagine. Where like, was anybody really here? No, it's there, and that's what's weird. You get stuff like that, so you're trying to be clean, and you know that that's already out there. So at the end of the day, like, just to do it is like, it's a lot of work. It's like it's one of those like, I have to put extra energy every day, but it also simplifies your life, because you can't eat 98% of that shit out there, you know what I mean? Or 99.
You don't even see it as food. You see it as poison.
Exactly. 98.6% or something like that.
Because of the processing or the genetic modification, or both?
Both, combination of the both, exactly. Like, well, that just doubles down on the whole thing. Genetic modification, I'm not down with at all, in the sense of I don't trust any of the companies that do it. So it's just kind of like, eh. And I'm not into corporate world either. So like, if I see, it sucks because like, you get into something, you love a product, you're like, oh, this is fucking great. And then sure enough, because you love it, that means other people love it. And just like the Impossible Burger and the fucking, I didn't like the Impossible Burger out of the gate. Beyond Burger I thought was okay. They had that tested here at the at the Eurofins, which is the same place I test my fucking hemp at. So I'm like, okay, they're good. And they didn't have any in the Beyond, but they definitely found it in the Impossible Burger, and that was for a news thing here. And I was like, okay, so there you go. That solidifies that. And of course, the glyphosate's all up in the fucking Burger King burgers. So all those people eat the Burger King burgers are eating the glyphosate. It's like nice. So yeah. So anyway, at the end of the day, it's like I think everybody can eat whatever the fuck they want though, because some people can't not eat meat. It's just the way their microbiome works. And like we're the same as plants, except plants have a external stomach and we have an internal stomach, and that's just kind of the difference. And so if you're got a good organic soil, then that's like your stomach, you know what I mean, of the plants. So you feed that soil feeds the plants. It's a good thing. If you feed your microbiome, your gut bacteria, so like you just literally like listen to your own gut, right? So like but you don't listen to you got to know who you're talking to. That's the problem. Everybody has like two sides in them. They have a good side and a bad side. Bad side's working against the good side at all times, as we know. And if you let the bad side start to win, then you feed the bad side, and then you fucking fall victim to all the bullshit, right? So if you're like all like, yeah, I need that fucking stupid candy bar right now, and you just that's their bad bacteria going like, fucking feed me. And then all of a sudden, so once you know not to feed that guy, and you feed that guy, you get into a better mode. And I think everybody just kind of should learn how to learn how to understand that they're in charge of themselves, and just fucking, you can control it all. If you just have to be like kind of in tune with yourself a little bit. And if you're not, you're fucking like, whatever.
I think we need to work out the done deal with the Sunflower Market or whatever the nice
Sunflower Market.
I'm thinking of Sprouts.
Oh, I don't do Sprouts that much. I don't trust Sprouts. Sprouts is evil. See, I like fuck Sprouts.
Broke another rule.
Broken up. Yeah, not.
Then where do you shop?
You're not supposed to like anything.
I don't like anything.
I learned that early.
Fuck.
I do Natural Grocers here.
Why
in
don't you
Colorado.
tell me aside? We talk
Shout out
offline,
Natural Grocers.
Man. Help
Whoop,
me out
whoop,
here.
whoop. Give me a discount. They're the worst for discounts, I'll have to say, though.
They're the worst for not actually taking 30 minutes from the bag and get out of the store for some reason. Sprouts. I
don't
can't
do
get
Sprouts.
out of there.
I once in a while roll in there. I haven't been to a fucking Whole Foods in years because
No, I don't shop there.
No way. It's like, fuck that. I had to
Yeah,
go
that's breaking the rules. I know that rule.
Breaking the rules.
Adam reminds me of Joey Diaz. His rules. Like,
He's got rules too?
Yeah,
He has a manifesto.
he has a ton of rules, dude.
Oh, yeah. See?
Yeah,
Me and
he's
Joe.
all about rules.
Fucking rules,
You
bitches.
guys gotta have some rules. Yeah.
Rules.
Rules.
So anyway, what do you think's besides the mushrooms and the MDMA and all of that? Is there? I think food is when people, again, back to the food thing. I think food is the next drug that people figure out, and it's kind of weird when you quit doing. Like I quit drinking through a peyote ceremony, and it wasn't on purpose. I can thank Tu out there for showing me the way. Like during the ceremony, like I don't want to be like that. Thanks Tu. Yeah.
Lead by example.
But Tu likes to drink a lot, and I used to drink, not crazy, but I drank.
That's not what I hear. I hear you used to get sloppy.
I get sloppy on the air. People can go back and listen to it. You can listen to the shows when I would drink, and I'm sure I was probably less coherent. I'm still totally incoherent, but the fact was I didn't go in to quit. I went in just to do. Oh, dude,
Totally.
I went in, and then I came out like, holy shit, I just quit drinking. Oh well, that's it, and it stuck because it was done in a ceremonial way, which is where we'll go back to.
Since I've been using things ceremonially, I use recreationally. I don't anymore. I'm not called to it. And I'm actually kind of bummed about it. I wasn't planning on it. I like using things recreationally. It's fun. But just the importance and what you get out of using it therapeutically and ceremonially is such more powerful, man.
Yeah, I can see. I mean, I know it works in that department, and I'm exactly like. It's the same with ayahuasca, where if I don't have an intention, I haven't done it yet, and my wife's done it, and she had a real intention, and it worked for her really well. And like my whole thing was, I don't want to quit everything. I don't want to change. I don't want to not. So I was fucking. I was definitely. I'm still on the fence. I want to do it now because I want to fucking get on the same page in a bunch of ways. But at the same time, without an intention, it's kind of like, what the fuck's the point, right? Like, but I'm totally guilty of no intention on a million fucking trips. Oh, not a million, but a lot. A few, and the best ones being when I was really young and really like like didn't know what to do, but at the same time really like took it super seriously. And then there was a time when I got sloppy, and then it kind of like got weird, and then it was not fun anymore, and then it got like, you know, there was like
Phases of
it's
it,
like,
man.
There's and then there was points where you were scared and you're like, I ain't gonna do it, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, what the fuck was I scared? You know, literally been through all of them, and then at the same time now I realized that there is an intention, especially, I mean, cannabis I still use what we would call recreational because I use it every day, all day, and
You do?
pretty much.
Oh, okay.
It's not every day, all day, but like
That doesn't surprise me.
pretty much you could count it.
Use it medicinally or recreationally?
We would call it recreational.
Why?
Because I'm a breeder, so I have to know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So it's not it's work. It's actually my work. So it's my job. It's my job. Don't. So in a way, it becomes your lifestyle because it's your job, and you have to be on point, and you can't be quitting and being lame because the minute you come back in, you're like, dude, everything gets me high, and you're like, no, now you're not fine tuned anymore. You need to be to the point where like if something gets you high, it's like, holy shit, this must get people really high because it got me high, and that usually works, and that's kind of the secret sauce. Because if you're like totally like, well, I'm going to quit smoking this month, but I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, which is grow the weed every day and harvest it and like try to gauge it. And it's not like I'm doing it for processing to sell. I'm doing it for to like stay on track with what I'm doing. I can't like, it doesn't work. I can't. I've tried a few times. I haven't really tried.
You got to
Honestly,
know
did I-
your product.
Did I ever quit? I've had to a few times, and when I did, even for like 6 days, it fucked me up to the point where I was like, yeah, I can't quit this shit.
I recently
I got really high there for a minute, like too high almost. Like, well, that was, yeah. So
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I'd like to talk with people about why they think it's recreational or why they get high, because I think it's a lot of it's medical for us, man. If we really get down to the root of why we smoke and are we tuning up deficiencies in our endocannabinoid system, and even if we're hanging out with friends and socializing right now, hanging out with you guys and taking dabs, I think is medicinal. This is good for me.
Oh no, I mean, and the thing is, it's cool when you
I
see
agree.
somebody. It's cool when somebody who isn't a smoker is gets super effect off of it because they're all of a sudden they're like, well, it's great to watch. I just know myself that since day one, first it was a competition when I was a kid. Like, you know, you always like, who's got the best weed, and then it was like, you know, at a certain point it became like more that I'm just trying to grow and maintain what I'm doing, and then it's like, but at the same time, I'm still that fucking 16-year-old kid forever. And like I was saying earlier, I'll leave when it's like, well, I don't have the best weed anymore, so I'm out. I'm gone. But
I like being the guy with the best weed in the room.
I like being with the guy with the best weed in the room.
see, that makes life easier. Then I see that exactly. And then I meet all the cool people that like weed, and then it's like, yeah. Then all of a sudden you lose that magic. You lose the power. You're like, no power.
Mark and I smoked 3 grams of what we called the Maltese Falcon. I paid 54 euros for 3 grams on
Oh, this is in Malta? Yeah. Yeah.
And what was it, the last joint we had? We were smoking on the road outside of a castle. We were showing up for this castle event, and all of a sudden there's cars coming up behind us, but we can't go left, we can't go right because there's walls on both sides of us, and you hear that squelch from a police officer, and it's the Maltese Secret Service because the Prime Minister was in the car right there. So that's how we finished our last joint in
Dude, he
Malta.
was the most polite law enforcement officer ever. Secret Service said, excuse me, would you mind please putting out your joint? The Prime Minister is rolling out.
Wow.
That's exactly what he said.
Put out the joint and up came the motorcade.
Yep.
Wow.
So,
That's
but then
pretty
again, 4 days later,
funny.
that whole government was removed on murder charges or something like that. So
Shit,
they're
good thing you didn't
okay
get
on
caught
grass,
smoking.
but they, hack up their competition.
The taxi driver.
Jesus. Wow.
Yeah, that's the way it works.
But
in
I
Malta.
met the guy with the best weed in the room when I was in Malta.
See, otherwise you wouldn't be here. And
No.
and you were like, wait a minute, you're in Colorado, and it was like Colorado, and then it just became, there you go.
We vibed.
Yeah, it was fun. That was a great event.
Malta's definitely a obscure place for most people. I don't think very few people have had that in their stamped in their passport.
No, but it's cool. So medical cannabis is in Malta too now, and they're growing medical cannabis for export to the rest of Europe. So again, they're late to the game compared to us, but look, they're already doing export. Why not look into that just to increase the viability as cannabis as a global industry?
Well, there's an interesting news story. I heard that there's actually a GNP facility here in Colorado processing hemp and cannabis, and after even THC, because of their license, they are actually exporting into the EU THC products in violation of federal law. And so that could be the precursor for how they're going to write new federal legislation.
Did you just tell a secret now?
No, it's out there. You know,
just checking.
The federal legislation will probably be based off of what this company is doing because they've figured out a roadmap for commerce. I mean, there's no reason why we shouldn't participate in the global market in selling cannabinoids. We fucking created the system. No, we created the legislative system to actually regulate it, right? I mean, it was Obama's administration that came out and said the Cole memorandum, right? We're not going to fuck with you if you figured out how to take care of your own house, right? So it's happening globally now. We should participate in it.
And well, it is for medicine.
We fucked it up, so we should actually step out, I think, for a few years and like let everyone else cook and cat do their thing.
Yeah.
And because the minute we start telling people what to do again, like usual, dude, we did it first because we're.
We don't have to tell them. I just want to play in the game.
No, don't let any Americans in and nothing. They can't go nowhere.
But there's already a good
Keep them
model.
trapped here, like little North Koreans. That's it. We're done.
No, we're
No.
not.
I'm telling you.
But in Europe, in other countries, there is a good model for GMP. So it doesn't. I think we can just copy it at this point.
I'm all for it. I don't think we need to reinvent the wheel anywhere. I think there's probably good rules and regs someplace, and we can just figure out how to modify it a little, like you said earlier. You know, once you figure it out one way, you're good at the other way.
Yes.
So it's treated as
I'm
medicine.
learning.
Why
That's
is this the only
way.
medicine that isn't regulated with GMP in America?
Because they haven't figured out how to tax it correctly yet. That's it. They just want to participate in it. The government's, they're just stupid right now. They're ignorant. They don't want it to go full out there until they figure out a way to make their nickel, you know, or their dime.
They're making it here in Colorado.
And that's why that the federal rule makers should
But
be looking at this.
interestingly enough, though, like the one promise that they made, they fucking lied about and they didn't do, which is it didn't go to schools properly. It, went to some bullshit slush fund that builds schools or something, And it's like, that isn't what you guys said. You guys said education. When you think education, you think education. You don't think like this construction company now has X amount of millions to build another school of our choice, which could not be anything that you really think as a school,
And I got annoyed with that too. And then I realized, wait a minute, man, this is how they spend fucking tax dollars. So why would cannabis dollars being spent any differently?
Well, it'd be nicer to see that you actually. It'd be nicer to see like because we're putting real money in their hands compared to other people. Like way better. Like the fact that we produce more taxes quickly and within a year's time. Like I think it was less than I think it was in the first year or maybe the second year that they surpassed alcohol taxes because alcohol is taxed like a little fucking tiny smidge and we're taxed like a bitch. And then at the end of the day, they're like, oh, look, it only took, literally only took a small amount of weed
till June
to overdo it. And now we do it now we crush it way further than that. And it's kind of like, not respected in the sense of like, okay, so not only do we pay all this tax money, then you put it into something that we can't really, like, it's not like they keep building schools and saying this is built on cannabis money. I haven't seen one time where they've said like this actual whole school is, if they want to do, do one school at a time, show us, like build us one school, show us how much it costs. And then, but no, it just goes into a slush fund, which I totally don't trust because that shit just gets used on like, we need 50 new tractors and then we never built a school out of any of them. And you're like, fuck you guys, so I don't know. It's kind of it's weird because cannabis is treated like a cash cow as usual, and people are figuring out quickly like it's expensive to feed the cow. The cow only, cash cow only eats cash, and you're like, wait a minute, can't you eat something cheaper than cash? Like, no, I need to eat. Actually, I eat twice as much cash as I shit out, and you're like, wait a minute, this is not the cash cow.
Feed me, Seymour.
You're like, cash cows are supposed to make money. You're like, well, these cash cows actually cost about the same, if not more, and because you overregulate the fucker all the way down the line, you're like wondering why it costs, $65 for an eighth or something, and you're like, well, this is kind of stupid, especially since everything else is the realities of cannabis has come out where like people don't mind $20 a pound when you're talking hemp or something, and it's getting down to it'll be $9 a pound by next year, and you're like, $9 a pound on hemp. When when it first was coming down, people were getting like 600 and whatever, big numbers, and it was crazy. And now everyone's like, fuck it, I'll take $9. And you're like, $9 is a big difference to like, $65, which it was this year or something like that, and now last year it was over $200 or something dumb, and like you see how quickly that dropped. But yet the smokable cannabis, because it's realized that it's, as we were talking to the guys before, you have hundreds of people working for you. You're paying all their salaries, and you're paying for their property, and you're paying for the taxes, and there's all these things you got to pay for. That weed is not nearly worth enough. You just can't grow enough. You know what I mean? It's like we're getting to that point. Everyone's figuring it out. All the big guys are shutting down. They're all like, "Oh my God," It's fun to watch in a sense, because it's also like a lot of those people dropped a lot of cool people off on the side that we know along the way, and you're like, okay, now everybody gets to see how like you can cut all the corners you fucking want. You're still not making a profit. But these guys that were sitting here before from Apothecary making a profit because they're focusing on one thing, and that's the only way you make money nowadays is if you're like just super focused on one thing. The minute you try to do that all, it's almost impossible because everybody's just like looking at what you're doing and then going,
you gotta stay in your lane.
We got to do that what they're doing, but way better, because they can only focus on one of the 8 things that they're trying to do, and they kind of paved the way, made something that they can't really do it right, and you just like tweak it a little bit. So it's the way it's turning so cutthroat that it's like I wouldn't want to get into cannabis if I didn't know anything about. Like people trying to get into it now, you're like, fuck, go think of something way like easier because you're gonna stress out just on the first day going in, like, oh my God, you guys have been doing this for how long? And it's like too long, you have to. We're already stuck. We can't go anywhere. There's no other way to go. There's no other way I'm going.
I'm a one-trick pony right now.
I'm where I am, but
stressful, man.
Yeah, I think that the big reality that's going to come up in the next few years is that it's either you're the best or you're the biggest, and there's nobody in between. Like there's the only thing that the reason that the best works is because it's the best, and the only reason that the rest work is fucking cheap price. The rest, it doesn't matter. Like no one cares about all the middle ground people. They're gone. So you can only be like the cheapest motherfucker on the block. That means you spend the most money on advertising and nothing on your people and nothing on your product, and you're just like all about advertising. You're like an insurance company of weed where you just have the best ads, but you don't have anything to sell. You're just fucking selling bullshit. You're selling them, here, you give me some monies.
It's an unfortunate...
and I will pay all these people that are really talented to make really cool commercials that are funny. And you're like, how are these guys so funny? I think, at least.
No, it's really hard, man. I've had to grow now for almost 5 years, and we've had our store for a year, and it's tough, man. We're a small guy, and in this industry, man, I agree with you. It's so stressful.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah. The ups and the downs, and trying to make it work, running a business when tax laws don't apply to us, that due to the rest of the industry, it's very hard to make a business work.
Yeah, it's weird because I think everybody kind of simplified it all recently, and then they, now there's the nuances of like, oh shit, I'm actually running a real business, and I'm like,
I got to pay taxes and have human resources.
This kind of sucks. And this is exactly what I was trying to avoid the whole time.
A Chick-fil-A would be easier, man.
Oh, Mark's trying to keep us
Shout
on
out
point.
to Chick-fil-A, man.
Shout out to Chick-fil-A. Can't shop there on Sunday, though.
Bunch of fucking religious bastards.
Yeah. Well, hey.
Killing chickens. Fucking chicken killers.
Chicken killers.
Yeah, we call them chicken killers, but man, who cares? Yeah. So you want to help us do shout-outs to our other sponsors that keep the lights on here?
Yeah. So my boy Kevin works for one of them.
Oh, who's he work for? Build-A-Soil.
Oh, nice. In the house. You want to do the Build-A-Soil one? You want to
come on? Come on. Buildasoil.com. Living soil.
Well, we'll drop in on Build-A-Soil in a second, but we're going to start off, of course, the New Millennium.
New Millennium.
Because otherwise, if I go out of order, my whole brain is going to just melt. It's going to be meltdown. Whole thing's going to go
meltdown.
Wrong. Can't do it.
I already feel like it's going to... It's already kind
It's off the rails already. Yeah. I'm not sitting down.
A little shaky. Yeah, I know.
My back was hurting.
And we know, that everybody listens to this show for the ads, right? Of course. I mean, what else would you do?
They don't listen for the ads, but they might find a product that they really appreciate, and they want to go spend money on a lamp. They know where to go to get a lamp. They need nutrients. They know where they go to get nutrients. And I still think if they get in Chinese food, they should ask every Chinese food waiter or waitress for the done deal when the check comes.
If we learn anything from this whole conversation that we just had, is that Adam really likes quality products, and He only picks quality.
Oh, you see, how picky I am. I'm a
Yes.
picky motherfucker. If
He's
you
like
listen to the show, if you
qualitarian.
listen to the show, you already know that I don't like anything. Everything sucks.
Yeah.
And so that
No
means if I
way.
actually like something, must be fucking good, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's part of New Millennium. New Millennium, we've been using it for 4 years. I don't know. I keep saying 2 years for like ever, like for like 5 years now, but I think it's about almost 5 years. And they are, people are now finally figuring it out, just like everything else that we do. Now all of a sudden, there's some people that are pulling out some amazing product. Couple shows, what was it, like 4 shows or so ago, we had Gabe on here and stuff, and he was just like ranting. You could see it, the passion in his eyes. He was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god."
Yeah, he
Great.
knew each product before you were going to bring it up of what he
Well,
used
you
it
better
for.
know each product, or else he's fired. That's pretty much how it would work. 'Cause
That's the shit.
he's using it all. And the thing is, it's all about timing with those guys. They really know what's up when it's like, and that's the thing is like they have the Decision product, which is awesome. And everything that he said, if you listen to the show, is funny because it's almost like he did my ad exactly the way I would have done it.
Yeah.
Which is the products that I think you should try are the Decision, the Red. Well, he didn't say Ruby Fulvic though. He was he was onto the Winter Frost. So it's the Winter Frost, which is your finisher, but also the Decision, which is a really cool product because nobody else has it. Is just like, literally making the decision you want to go into flower. You hit them up with that. That really triggers them in the right way and gets them off to a good start. And that's kind of the key to everything because you'll see the difference on your stretch and everything, how things fill in on those first week. In the first week, you can kind of see if you're going to do better than you did last year. Like, ooh, they're kind of like tighter and everything's looking. And those tend to fill in better. And these Decision really helps you achieve that. But you go to newmillenniumnutrients.com and check them out. They have a store finder, a calculator, so if you got to figure out what kind of products
If you need the done deal for your growth, you can just.
boom,
Yeah.
and you call it.
20%?
Well, it's
I'm
a
not giving
variable.
no
You
numbers.
just
Come
use the
on,
done
man.
deal.
It
You have
could
to
be
decide
20, it could be something higher or lower. Who knows?
Quote 20.
But, I want 20.
I
All
need
right.
20.
Well,
It's got to be done 20.
The one thing you do know is, and I asked them at the show, I was like, "Are you guys getting bombarded with done deals?" And he's like, "Bro." So that meant no.
It works.
No, it meant actually it does work. No, they have been actually getting bombarded with people coming in with the done deal. So I think they've got a pretty cool plan if you want to, and especially because there was a show recently, and they have all these really cool little pet pack things that they make with little samples of everything, enough to actually do a little bit enough. And you can also ask for individual products, and they're pretty down to send it. So check them out. I know somebody got some stuff, and I was like looking at it, and I was like, holy shit, that is a lot of value right there for a done deal just by asking. Just by asking. Only person who knows is Mike Denver. Mike Denver's the only guy who actually calls when we say call, and you will have this thing. It will be free, and you will get it.
Because he's awesome.
And he actually, and he doesn't understand how tall people are, so it's crazy. But
No, but thank you, Mike, because we're going to be calling him 5'6" forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
5'6" Adam. That makes me
Ye-
5'4".
4'1".
Yes, but check them out online.
Newmillennium.com.
Also online, check out the guys from iloveincredibles.com. Best edibles here in Colorado, consistent and amazing flavors. Everything works the way it's supposed to work, which is important. Everything's labeled properly.
So much better than Chick-fil-A.
100%, and open on Sundays. Not really. They're not even open. I think they don't. They're not really open to the public, are they? So not yet. They haven't done their Willy Wonka factory
Not yet.
but hopefully.
Oh, they've been threatening that for years.
I know. Come on, guys.
Yeah, that'd be great,
Make
right?
it happen.
Glass
Make it
elevator
happen.
thing.
Yeah.
You just got to do it.
Chocolate Lake,
You
you know.
just got to do it. Oh, so look at him. He's
Oh, he's very happy.
who's going to turn purple and explode?
Yeah, this
Dave.
guy.
Dave is. 100%.
This guy.
I think
But
we
yeah.
need a Willy Wonka cake next year.
I've been digging on the 50 milligram ones. I know I say that every
Big
week,
Daddies?
but
The Big
I
Daddies?
just
Yeah.
that's the
Me too.
I just
Yeah, but
I-
they're not. Oh, they have vegan versions.
Yeah, they do.
And they're straight. They have
Yeah, but they're not always vegan, right? They have a vegan version, or they're always vegan.
I thought they're all vegan.
Oh,
I
you
hope
better-
you're breaking my bubble here, man.
Oh, dude, you better check. No.
Jeez.
But just check out iloveincredibles.com for Store Finder. If you're here in Colorado, you're going to definitely be able to find them because they're everywhere, and that's important because then you can have your medicine or your flavor saver or whatever you need it for anywhere you want, and just like, again, it's about the consistency, which is the most, in my opinion, when it comes to edibles. That's what you're looking for, because that's been the biggest problem in the past. It's been like the one time it worked really good, and every other time it didn't work, you were all pissed off because it didn't work, and then when it finally worked, it worked way too good, and now you're like, fuck, when I ever get to dial this shit in? These are the guys you want to talk to if that's what you're looking for. And dial in. Also, they make their own extractors, so if you're into extracting, then you can check them out for that. And also, they have great pen. The pens are usually sold out. That's the only problem with pens. Biggest problem, can't get them because they're sold out all the fucking time.
You know, with the beauty of having a doctor here, though, and when he prescribes medication, he doesn't say, take 10 to 20 milligrams of something. He says, take this dosage, these number of pills, right? So when you're dosing with Incredibles, 5 milligrams is 5 milligrams. 10 milligrams is 10 milligrams. And that is so overlooked in this industry. You want to look at the label. It says what it is. You eat it, and that's the effect you get. It should not be random, or this edible affects me this way or that edible affects me that way.
Well, if you're just looking at the molecules of the milligrams of THC, I think that's what we mostly have in these, THC and CBD, made from distillate. So it should be reproducible with our testing from one product to the other, and I find them to be pretty reliable. Well, I guess I'm relying on our testing, man.
It's
and
knowing on
believing
your
in the testing.
well, when it comes to like producing the extract to put in the thing, if you're not, when you're talking so a distillate is a problem because we know it sucks, right? So that's there you go, that doesn't work, but it does work because when you take out 100, when you get 99 point whatever percent, if it's CBD, it's definitely not activated. It's like not being decarbed basically at that point, right? So you want to add.
Distillate is decarb, man.
No, but as an actual working thing, when you're taking pure CBD, when you take pure CBD, it alone isn't got a way to carry it in to get it into your system properly. So what you're basically not. It's like being non-decarb is what I'm saying. It isn't.
It's not with fat, you mean?
Yeah. Well, fat is more from a THC point of view, but CBD is from a non-synced. It needs to be it itself. It's not physically carrying it. It's more like activating it to make it actually work better. And that's the difference. Because the problem is that people take distillate and they start adding it to everything, and then really there's not much effect unless it just happens to be synergistic with what they're putting it in with. And a lot of times if people just took a little bit of that's why with THC that's why I say it's a real medicine, because you could do just THC and guaranteed it's going to do something. You could do just CBD and you probably won't work as that great, but if you take tiny bit of THC and add it to that CBD, then it does work. So it's kind of like the missing element,
The entourage.
The THC.
The THC, exactly. And that's the problem of like getting isolate. You're literally isolating 99.9% of the one product. There's nothing of the other. There's zero THC in those. You know what I mean?
No, but I mean the other way, when it's the distillate of just THC that we're using.
Oh well, I mean that works because THC works.
Right.
It doesn't need something else to make it work. So that works. And then I understand for the dosage point of view, that's where that makes sense. But from the magic point of view, you're better off with a slurry of everything. And then you're like, there you go, it's all in there. And you'll know it. That's what I was going to say from the Incredibles point of view, is the reason that their products are so good is that they know their strains, or they know their cultivars. And so they know what the resin that comes off of that does. And that's the thing, is like, it's the biggest learning curve of anything, is knowing what how it grows, then you know how it either extracts from water hash or from dry sieve or whatever. So how the trikes fall off, that's like a whole new learning curve. And then it's how it stores and how it tastes and how it fucking like how much oil's in it or how much wax is in it. And after a while you get to know it, and then you just know it. And then once you really know it, you're like, don't use that for that. Use that for that, and use this for that. And if you didn't know that and you used that for the other thing, it would have fucking been a failure, because it's like baking a cake every time, where if you don't do the right mix, it doesn't rise. And
in the right order, in the right process.
Well, with hash, it's like we're mining those fucking trikes, right? So, but if the thing you're looking for within those trikes is not there, you're just mining for nothing. You're mining hollow fucking. Like sometimes you get plants where they have nothing. There ain't like no oil in them at all. They look really pretty, but they got shit. You know what I mean? It's like when you actually try to make something up, it doesn't stick, and you're like, fuck. Then you get other stuff, it just sticks to everything. It's fucking like, it's almost too good. But, you have to know that. And then you'll know it after a while. Once you've grown the same thing 20 times, you're fucking know it inside and out. You'll be like, oh, fuck, it's day 53, I have to, cut that off, or else the whole thing's gonna blow out and turn into a big, like, dreadlock or something.
That was a good nugget. Ad
Yes.
right
I
there.
said, what?
That was a good nugget in the ad there.
Nugget. It was a nugget, bro.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on though.
I love Incredibles.com.
Yes, sir.
I love Incredibles.com.
Yes, sir.
Moving on to
Here it is.
BuildASoil.com. Build a soil.
Build.
Build us.
Come on, that was weak.
Free
All right.
shipping in Colorado, New Mexico.
Yes,
Orders
sir.
over
Free
$500
shipping.
bucks.
Are you, what department are you working in?
I just work in the retail store.
Oh, you're in the retail. So you don't have to lift a single heavy box. You just be like, buy this, and then someone else does all the work.
There's always heavy lifting to do.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how is Jeremy to work for? Is he a slave driver?
Not at all, Jeremy.
Come on, say it. He's all the way over in Montrose. He can't get you here. Just when you get to work, he'll be like, yeah, I heard what you said. I heard what you said.
Are you a hockey player? I see you wearing a Bauer hat there.
I am a hockey player,
All right.
yeah.
Sweet.
Nice.
Original? Are your
the biscuit in the basket?
Teeth are original?
Most of it.
I was going to say, if they're all original, then you're probably not. Yeah, you probably have been.
No.
Yeah,
You-
you have to
at
be-
least
at
one has to be gone.
Fuck.
Oh, then you don't understand.
So yeah, we basically tell everybody that everybody there grows. We lied, but on the ad, is that true-ish or close to true? He told me that, Jeremy. Like he lied to me. Otherwise, but do you grow weed at all, or?
I do.
Oh,
yes,
good.
absolutely.
See, I'm not lying. Woo! My ads are true. No, I do try to create real facts, but that was one thing he told me. He said everybody there grows, so they all know what's going on. I'm like, all right, that's cool. I'm going to pass that on because that's important because there's a lot of shops that nobody grows at, and that doesn't make any sense because it's like, really?
How do I ask you a question?
Yeah, and then usually people are there to quiz and see how much you really know. So what's your, do you have a sort of, like, even though you're retail, or do you have like a certain department that's your IPM guy, or you're like a soil sort of guy, or you're all
soil
around?
guy.
Soil guys. And what else? So you're obviously grown in soil, I assume. So you don't go home and be all lame and have like big old hydro setup. And, Jeremy, if only Jeremy knew. I was growing in Rockwool with salts.
Ask him about his old school strains he likes to grow.
Well,
Oh, what do you got? You got any Colorado
I love
cough?
growing Duke Diamond stuff.
Whoop! Shout out Duke.
Shout out to
Everybody's
Duke.
his name's already on
Convenience
all over.
Company.
Good choice.
I've always still got bubble gum going.
Nice, nice.
Oh,
Shout
look
out
at
to-
that.
look at
Shout
that.
out to Ad.
Yeah.
Oh, don't.
That's
Oh,
Oh.
just
You like that?
golf clap.
You're growing. Obviously, he's growing your strain because everyone does.
What? He's not growing mine.
Come on, it got smuggled out by your
Shut
son. I know
up.
your son smuggled it out. That's what I
Did
heard.
not.
That's what word on this. That's how you create a legend, bro. You go, and then my son smuggled it out of
He
the
smuggled it
facility.
out in his prison wallet.
He's not allowed. Yeah, we can't get it. Making that up. That was all made up.
Totally made up.
So build a soil, free shipping. You don't have to deal with it. You're telling everybody what's going on. You're just like, do it. No, how is the how's the grow going on there? I heard that it's almost finished, right? That's done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did it get harvested yet, or is close to? It seemed
Close to, yeah, close to.
And there was only a couple plants, right, or 4 things.
There's 2 tents there. Yeah.
But they don't grow
there's-
many per. It's like it's all one big container, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And is it the first round or is it a second round in that one?
I think it's the first round of this genetic.
I mean, on the soil itself. You know if that soil's been
Oh.
around for a bit, or that'd be
Man,
the test of time where you'd be like, this is from the day we opened the store. Now look at it. Look at it now.
I think Jeremy's always playing with new mixes, but yeah, you go several rounds.
And where do people go for that one? Is that just on the site, or is there links on the site, and how's that go?
Yeah, we got pre-mixed on the site. You can order.
No, but I mean as far as the follow those grows, because there's like some.
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook. He keeps that up pretty
I see it on
regularly.
Instagram, Facebook. Is it on the website though at all? Or not? I don't think so.
I don't think it's on the website, no.
Okay, good. Same. That I don't know. Barely. I just call them up and say, send me that.
Send me this right
Yeah,
because
send
you're
me-
Adam Dunn. You can just pick the phone up, and you
Ah.
don't even have to ask for the done deal.
Yeah, but you can't. But anybody can ask for the done deal. You ever have anybody walk in and ask you for a done deal? No.
Absolutely.
Yes. Oh, but
Well, how many a day?
It's working. It's working. You have a clock.
Many a day.
See, many.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice to hear. Good. At least you people out there are doing me good on something.
Yeah. What?
It's hard because the thing is, they forget. They're stoners and they don't do it. Like we had complaints over the past of not enough people using the done deals, and I'm like, that is not.
We're
possible.
encouraging them to
It's not
remember.
possible because that's all we ever talk about. So you figure if we only talk about one thing, they gotta remember it.
And now they get the done deal at for MMJ evaluations, right? And maybe some cannabis psychotherapy.
if you're in town and you want to get, because that's the thing, if you have a medical card compared to buying recreational in Colorado, your choices are higher quality everything, because people have, for some, even though the stupidest part, they did change the whole rule about testing, right? Like you have to test medical now.
Finally.
Okay, that was the dumbest rule ever. That was like the most ass backwards rule too. It was like, okay, so medical people with compromised health issues, fuck it, you can smoke whatever you want, as strong as you want, eat whatever you want. Doesn't matter if it has pesticides in it. Just chow that shit down. Oh, you're a fucking some kid from Ohio and you want to get high and you just
Protect the babies.
Make sure you're good. Don't want to fucking
protect
Hey,
them.
I'm from Ohio, man.
Well, I wasn't trying to say anything besides that's it, middle America right there. You know, the average guy. I'm going average Joe. But in general, it's like the fact that you're trying to protect people coming in that are just buying it like as if it was alcohol. Are worried, you know what I mean? And then the people that are like literally like lives depend on it doesn't get tested. You're like, that's weird, you know. But anyway,
It's ridiculous,
that
man.
That was the
For years it went on too.
forever. I didn't even. I figured it was still going on,
No.
but I think it wasn't that long ago that they changed it.
No, but and when did they start requiring it for rec?
Oh, from the get-go.
Oh, for record was pretty much
Yeah,
right
from
out
the
of
get-go.
It was pretty quickly
Yeah.
out of the gate. Like it might not have happened right out of the
didn't,
way
right.
because people were just being lame and not doing what they were doing, but quickly everybody fell in line and it got real lame and like everything else. And you know,
They might have not required it to be tested, but the good medical dispensaries always had their product tested from the beginning.
For THC, because they wanted to advertise that, but not
all right, we're
necessarily
back on.
from a
We're on
grower.
Build a
right.
Soil. We can't get into testing. They don't do no
BuildASoil.com.
testing at Build a Soil. What they do is IPM, of course. So if you needed your pest management figured out, they know they know what you need when you need it, which is really important because you could be like totally going against the grain, buying all the wrong things, wrong time of year, and not getting any results. Or you could just let someone who knows what the fuck they're talking about help you out and tell you the right order to do things, because especially when it comes to pest management, prevention is way better than fucking trying to figure it out after the fact, because you don't even they're not going to help you when it's a problem. When it's a problem, you got to go into all sorts of terrible situations where you compromise everything. Compromise your medicine, bruh. Anyway, BuildASoil.com.
BuildASoil.com.
855-877. So you can't read that. It's too far away. You're
No,
old.
I
You're
have my
50.
glasses on.
Look at you. You can squint in it.
855-877-SOIL.
Which
Yeah, you'll have to type it out. I don't know what
read
soil
that
is.
far. I'm amazed, dude. I'm amazed. Anyway, Build a Soil, done deal. Give him a call. You may even talk to him. You might talk to that guy.
You
He'd
might
be
talk.
like, I talked.
Ask if he's wearing a
Basically,
power hat.
anybody you call there and just say, "Did I see you on the show?" or "I hear you on the show," because you didn't get to see anybody. And next, dun. Green Farms. Come on, you
I was waiting.
I pointed at you.
Green
I started, then I pointed at you. That's not how it works.
FarmsMed.com.
You don't point at me.
GreenFarmsMed.com.
You have one job.
It was like hot potato.
Because he forgot. That's what I was.
No, I was trying to create
Yeah.
like a flow.
Green
like,
Farms
I start,
Med.
you finish. It looks like we know what we're talking about. Now we look like we don't know
Douches.
shit. As usual, worst fucking ad
Well, that's
ever.
why that's probably a vote for why we should be doing some
It's okay.
pre-recorded.
Forget about the quality of the ad. Ads quality.
It's
is
the
not-
quality of their product.
See,
It's
but then you
about
don't
their
get the
product.
nugget ads like we had a second ago. That was
That's
a good
right.
nugget, man.
You like that nugget?
Yeah, I liked it. It was good.
Oh man, I should try it more often. Yeah. You think I'm doing a show or something? But anyway, these guys over at Green Farms. One thing I do know, they are killing it on quality. They got no-till. They have no-till grown cannabis. So if you're ever in Colorado Springs, which I know you are, and you need to tell your people where to go, and they need to get some organically grown cannabis, which is really hard to find here in Colorado because most places are not really open about what they're doing, and or if they are supposedly organic, they should be telling you, because that's important. And these guys do no-till. There's crystals, bro. Fucking, you know the shit's good. You got a crystal. You put a
crystal in the soil.
Crystal in the soil.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you saw his beard.
They have
you
a
know,
fire
you know,
Instagram page too.
Unfortunately, he shaved his beard, so that's a scary moment. You never know. You never know when an organic guy shaves his beard. Shit,
Trouble.
Could be, yeah. But no, he is sticking to his guns. You can go to there and you can get the done deal. And I heard that people are going in and using it, which is good. 'Cause I thought it was going to be too complicated because of the combination of you need a medical card, you got to be in the Springs, you got to be in Colorado, first of all. That kind of limits a few of our listeners.
Yeah.
Most like 90%, 95%.
That's not true. We have a lot of Colorado
about to
listeners.
say.
For all of you
I think
sponsors,
I hope that we have. I hope that there's enough listeners out there though that we're not the
No, it's
most
true.
people
there
are like
are
down the street.
Colorado listeners out there. So that
There
if
are.
any of them know what this is Ozo Coffee, and hopefully,
Actually, strangely enough, on SoundCloud, Aurora, Colorado is like one of the highest cities in
See?
that we get.
It's because we have that guy who just sits there with all the phones. You know that never. That's
Oh, the night-
Ukrainian
with the
phone
wagon.
bank.
I have the Ukrainian phone bank on lockdown there, bro. I'm like, bro, I'll bring you down some more.
It's like the people you see on Instagram with 97,000 followers, and you look them up, and
Yeah.
they have all just strange Ukrainian names, and they don't post, but they just follow 4,000 people each.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be it.
That's
But
our
they
stuff.
also have
That's
Green
exactly
Farms.
what this show's about.
Green Farms Feed and Seed in Louisville.
They do.
Yep.
And there you can get all your organic inputs that you can get. And he has a huge amount of stuff from Jeremy. And every time he talks to me, he tells me, "Tell Jeremy I need this. Tell Jeremy I need." It's like, dude, you do it. It's your job. You got the. But at
Pick
the
the
same time,
phone up.
he uses everything from Build a Soil at this point in time. So that's a fucking testament of our sponsors, like working together
Mhm.
to create the done deal of done deals. You're not only getting a done deal.
Done
on one
deal
thing,
squared.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Multiplication of done deals on this one. Greenfarms.com.
Green Farms. greenfarmsmed.com.
Oh, it's that fucking med that kills us.
Yeah.
They threw that in only a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
guys. So don't hold it against us.
greenfarmsmed.com.
We're not that stupid.
Yeah.
We're kind of.
3 months.
No,
Slowly.
just a little stoned.
Okay.
And then there will be cake.
Here we are. Look, we're in Barcelona. We are in Barcelona at my friend's
Soon.
shop.
Soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Coming soon. 1 month from now. One
And-
month and 1 week from now, we will be in Barcelona with the crew, chilling before the Spanibus. I think it was the first day of Spanibus is our first show. And
And then if
gonna
you're
be
following Terp Tower, someone in the room is an official judge.
Yeah.
It's the guy with the really big terrorist beard.
Yep. And then you guys are the lowly sidekicks who I throw I go, oh, this is terrible. Then I give it to you.
I don't know.
That's
I
how it
don't know
works.
if we have enough street
I scrounge it
cred.
off the carpet.
And he scrounges off the carpet. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
have it in the, before the carpet. He has to take it
Got
off the
it.
carpet. And then
Marlon
KTI
Asher, they announced him today.
Marlon Asher's a
Yeah.
judge. Yes, sir.
We interviewed him at Emerald Cup.
We showed that, didn't we?
That was
Nope.
great.
Nope, we haven't. Oh, that one we. Oh, that
You
was
never
one.
seen-
Oh, that, I can't. I tried. It didn't
Yeah, I
work.
know.
I was in fucking.
Didn't sync?
I know.
I couldn't even do that. I couldn't even do that.
He didn't. He couldn't.
I couldn't. I tried.
Oh well.
He tried.
All right. We
But
will,
Treasure ask for the done deal. They'll waive the €30 membership
it's
fee
a
when
very
you come
good
in.
done deal.
Yeah.
It's an extremely good done deal, and you usually get a free joint too.
Wow.
I'm just saying that anyway. I don't know. Whatever. Petey.
Tell him you want a
give him a
free
fucking
joint.
joint.
Tell him
You better-
Adam said you can get a free
Yeah.
joint.
He knows. He knows.
All right.
Everybody's got one that's so.
Rioting is stopped in Barcelona. It's very safe there now. You know, I don't think there's any. I asked my buddy if there was any coronavirus there. He said no. So I'm going to just trust what he says because, you know, stoners have all the input on coronavirus.
And okay, but okie dokie. But you can go to Treasure BCN right on their Facebook, or is that their
at treasure_BCN
on Instagram?
Instagram.
Yes, sir. And if you're there, say hi to Petey. And if you're there in a month, if you're there for Spanavis, then you can meet us. We'll definitely be there. And if we're not there, we're at Terp Tower. Pretty much that's where we're at. Or Spanavis, but you know, I can't tell you where to meet me there. So I can. It's like trying to say.
We'll
meet me at
have
the,
some
meet me at the
space at
Rose
the
Bowl.
Requiem
Meet me at
booth.
the Rose Bowl. I'll
No,
be there,
the
just
guys
somewhere.
at Requiem Genetics will allow us to do a little camp out there. So we
Oh,
can.
I have my own booth.
I'm sure.
Bro. I have my own booth.
You have your own booth, and how could you say you don't know where you're going to be?
No, but it doesn't matter. I know
I
where
know.
I will be.
I know how it works.
Not the show is not going to be going on there, but I will be there. I'm going to be there with James Loud,
Yeah.
representing our new mix there, and then also
He's a judge too?
La Plata Labs, yes, and La Plata Labs will be there. Josh is coming. I think he hasn't really. He's kind of like on the fence. He doesn't know.
You'll get him there.
He'll be there, and then Fletch from Archives at the same booth, so it's going to be a cool booth.
Wow, just think of the selfies you can take if you stop by that booth right now.
Wow, think of it,
Or
and
in
you can
March.
see how tall I am or not. It'll be
5'6"?
5'6",
Or 4'1".
That's what they're saying. That's what the word on the street is.
Yeah. Treasure BCN.
Next up, though, the guys over at Extract Craft. I saw them at the Indo Expo, so definitely get them when I have some time. We'll have We might do a
We really
demonstration.
do need to get them
We
in
can do. We
here.
can do a demo. I think we do a demo though. That'd be fun because I like the idea that it's a 3-hour process and a 3-hour show. So there we go. We should be able to have it a done deal by the end of the show, or we'll just all blow up like a bunch of botards, and then we'll know. It's like this is definitely not the safest thing in the world. No, it is. It's 100% safe. Tabletop model. You will not blow up like a botard.
You guys, dude.
I swear.
That'll be removed in edit.
No, don't worry. They're fine. They're fine.
It
with
doesn't
it.
blow. That's what we're making fun of. It's
doesn't.
totally safe.
Yes, it is.
Totally safe.
It is, sir. And the sources, they're smaller unit, ounce at a time. They're bigger one, 4 ounces at a time. Check them out. Done deal as always. Order direct from them online. They make them right here in Longmont, Colorado. So all handmade by guys who know what they're doing. So it's not some cheap thing. It's like a proper, like a good espresso machine or something where you can replace every part and you can fix it. And it's like there's not like you got this one-time banged out thing from China.
Good espresso machine. Are you thinking that I'm courting a potential new sponsor in Ozo Coffee?
I didn't know. I don't know.
No.
Check them out. Done deal. But if you are thinking about buying this product, then you need to go to our next sponsor, of course, which is 420 Extractor, local extract ethanol here in Colorado, made locally. High quality. They have a whole other. It's Mystic Brewery or Mystic Distillery, right? Mystic something. Is it Mystic Distillery?
Mystic Mountain.
Mystic Mountain. That's it. Mystic Mountain Distillery.
Didn't
So
we
you
take
can-
some pictures with them
you
at their
can
booth
check-
I sent
You
to
can
you?
check out their other products if you're into alcohol. I'm not, but you can. But we are into this kind of alcohol because sometimes it helps with our extractions. You make
Sure does.
If you with the previous product, you can make tinctures and all sorts of other products too from it. So check them out. Go to the 420extractor.com and
420extractor.com.
that's an O, not a 0.
Oh.
It was so hard to type, bro. It was like 42. Then like I don't know, just something about it was
Right.
just it was very anti. Like my brain didn't work on it. But I was like, I can't do it, bro.
The two round. One's a round digit and one's
No,
a
it's
bigger
small.
round
It's-
digit.
It's basically 42 and then O extractor, and that just kind of was hard for to make that. Like you had to put O extractor in small, and then 42 is big. I don't know. Yeah, whatever about
Why
it.
didn't they do 420?
It was probably taken.
Do you think there's a 420 extractor out there? No, but there's a 42 O
Oh,
extractor,
extractor.
42 O extractor.
It's not breaking any
It's
rules.
smart. It's smart. No, it
Adam
doesn't.
has rules.
It's a good. No, it does the opposite. It makes me even go like, whoa! I should have thought of that. Anyway,
Oh.
now that 420 is overkill, right? We're over that.
No, remember, it's 420. It's going to be 420 every day
Oh, that's
of the
true.
month.
Oh, but we're waiting for next week to that because the next
Oh, we
week I
are?
can prove it.
Oh, that's right.
I
We'll
can
prove it
it
next
on the
week.
show. I can be like,
Sweet.
look at the day. What day
Look
is
at
it?
it.
They'll be like, wait a minute, it is 420.
Holy moly.
It's not 420, but it is 420. So
But it
next
is.
next week, I don't know. Maybe they can think about it now, and they'll already be like, oh yeah, I get it. 1420, brah. Next week.
Sweet.
But done deal from them. And what's this? What's going on here?
14er, baby.
Oh yeah, this is the one I never know what it is because it's some guy in the
Oh,
snow
'cause they're
just
new.
wearing my pants.
What's the new?
14er Holistics
Tell us
is
what,
a
tell us what you'll be
vertically
smoking
integrated.
this week. Tell us what you'll be smoking this week.
Ah,
For your
no,
birthday.
this is for all of us.
It's
So
okay. It's your birthday.
they sent along some Gorilla Glue 4, some Golden Glue, and some GMO cookies, and it's fire. But if you live in Boulder and you want to stop by, they're on 28th and Mapleton, across from the YMCA. It is a fantastic dispensary, and they grow an interesting strain called DJC. You might want to pick it up. Yours truly has his face on it. I don't care that it was a complete joke how it started, but my face is on it. My son had me going thinking they actually planned it for me for a little while because every father believes their son. And only did he find out like 2 years later that it was actually a happy coincidence. But concentrates, they do their own live rosin. They use apothecary extracts for their butane solvent extraction. The flower is the fire. You need to try the truth. They've got a great GMO going right now. They've got 20 different crosses coming out right now on the rec side. Give them a shot. I don't think the done deal works there, but we'd love for you to go in and ask for it, or at least say that you heard about it on the show, and that's the reason you drove to fucking Boulder.
Always
because
try.
who wants to do that?
And when enough people do
check it out.
they just give in. They're going to give in. Slowly but surely. They'll be
I
like, "Fuck
brought
it,
they have
fuck
a
it."
cookies that is. I brought it. It's down in the can there, but it is. They're really doing some fantastic work, and I love them. And I am biased, yes, because Jonah, my son, is one of the growers there, but he does a great job. So give him a chance. 14erholistics.com, right? I think it is. Or 14erboulder.com. They've got 14er Manufacturing, 14er Boulder on Instagram. Follow them and go spend some money there. That would be great. Who's next?
Nice.
Yeah.
Who's next?
And they've been.
You're supposed to know these things.
I don't know. You want me to be the guy that you can make fun of?
No,
but,
I want you to get the guy who gets the news. You just keep forgetting.
I told you about the news. Acreage wanted to buy a commercial. That was it.
That's not the news.
I'm 50 today. That's
okay.
my news.
That's good. No, yeah, you were given. We gave you the green light. Like they told you, this is the last week where you can be lame and fail miserably.
I'm gonna have to report to HR.
Yeah, otherwise
talk
HR.
about my performance.
100%.
Yeah.
And you know.
Sorry, Cece.
You know how hard we scold around here. You know we're bad. Oh, no, we're not here yet. What are you talking about? We're back. They're back.
Oh.
No, they're back. Can you pull that up or no?
Yeah.
It's over. The hiatus is
they're
over.
back?
Their hiatus is over.
SeedsHereNow.com.
It was a 1 week. It was a 1 week thing.
We just had a little snafu.
I got a few. No, well, we have a few things to announce after the common one, which is the Seeds Here Now is the #1 source for seeds here in America and the world, really, because the internet connects the world, bro. 50 over 50. I think there's 52 breeders. Might even be more because they bring on new people after they've been vetted properly. But they bring on new people. Not so regularly because they try to keep it exclusive, and they've knocked a few out here and there along the way. But the best of the best are in this camp, and great drops all the time. We're going to start doing the James Bean Man of the Sea more often because I think he's more his sound is a little better now. So, see, nice. He helped us. The thing is, Seeds Here Now has made this show better than every time. They brought the cameras that improved our quality. Went from looked like a bad old 70s fucking film or something with like you could barely see anything, details and stuff. It was terrible. Now we've got high resolution 4K.
Yeah, I don't do well under high resolution.
No, we keep yours all. We put Vaseline on the one that goes
I want
to
the
you.
low
So
res camera.
it's got that look. It's okay.
Still.
It's okay. But the guys over at Seeds Here Now making the show look good, but also what they're going to do is start making commercials for us. So that we'll have a pre-commercial, and they're going to do the commercials before the show so that you guys have something to watch while you're waiting for me because my dongles will be all dongled up and mixed. I got my dongles mixed up. And once I got my dongles all mixed up, you're going to be waiting for a while. So you'll be like, fuck, luckily Seeds Here Now is crushing it with the fucking commercials. And so I think starting next week, we will have a dope commercial at the beginning of the show, and I think after they become good, we can just they just can be on loop because they'll be.
Well, it'll be Valentine's Day next Friday.
It's Valentine's Day. We have a whole reason to do it. It's gonna be great. Cupids, I can see it already. I can see it.
Mark is dressing in a Cupid outfit. It's gonna be really cool. You guys are gonna love it.
I can see the wheels turning already. But you can go to those guys, seedsherenow.com. You can use the Done Deal. There was a moment in time. See, it was weird. There was a moment in time. Done Deal wasn't working. They weren't sure if they were going to do the show. There was talk of them leaving. But
that's all in the past.
But we banged it out, and we realized no, we're too good for each other.
It was all that business they lost in 1 week of not advertising on the show.
I don't know about that because the problem is the people who listen to the show, like I said before, a bunch of stoners, and they're ordering seeds, and they're all excited, and they hit that button, and they don't fucking use the Done Deal. Because they're just not thinking about it.
You gotta use the Done Deal.
And they're like, I'm like, did you use the Done Deal? I'm like, oh, should I? I'm like, yeah. Duh. That's the whole reason that people can track that. They know that this show works. And if other people, like the guys over at Build a Soil, I know, have literally exploded in growth from the show because people who call from our show and ask for they're the guys who want real soil products and they want this shit, and then all of a sudden they get addicted to it, and then they just keep using it because it's way too convenient, and all of a sudden they're just fucking like coming in with the Done Deal weekly. So I know because on the first week Jeremy did like 2,400 in sales from just the Done Deals, and it was pre-Done Deal. It was just hey, I saw you on that I'm Done show deal. Now we got it streamlined. So
fantastic.
We make it that much easier for you. It's almost like you just
make sure you ask for the Done Loud seeds.
They don't do.
Why not?
Sorry. I was thinking Build a Soil.
Look, see?
No,
it's against the rules.
Is it to forget that
you're
to look at the guy that
I can forget. You can't forget.
You're fired.
Uh-oh.
That's it. Dad's fired on his birthday. It was the worst 50th birthday ever.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. I'm keeping the cake too.
Okay.
No, just kidding.
I want the head.
Yeah, just kidding.
All right.
But go to seedsherenow.com, check them out. Keep an eye out for the commercials coming up soon, and also James Bean, Man on the Scene. Well, hopefully then he can call in with the real deal, because the rest you can just look it up online. They've got a killer website. They've got forum also you can go to and check out and talk to the breeders, and get the direct answers right from them. And that's the cool part about the way he does business too, is if he's got a breeder who's using other people's genetics, he won't take it if they don't have permission, and he makes sure so that he's not getting people just clipping other people's work.
Making sure he's paying a royalty to those seed breeders is absolutely unique in the industry. I mean, people really don't.
That's the key to their success, is that they've been up and all that kind of stuff. And it's a pain in the ass sometimes, because there's some things that are selling really good at all these other seed banks, but it's because they don't give a fuck, and they'll sell the other guy's copy version of the other guy's thing. And sometimes they're good. It's not to say that because they had good working material to work with, but James from Seeds Here Now, being a stand-up guy, makes sure that your shit gets represented properly. So I
Great company.
appreciate that. So anyway, get to them, and you will get fucking taken care of, which is the deal, the done deal from Seeds Here Now.
Seeds Here Now.
Seedsherenow.com. Okay, and finally, but not least,
Here we
as
go.
we say, Illuminarch.
I hope you guys have sent in your email and with the word of the month. And
Well, I hope that people know, because we were a little discombobulated for a while there. They did a trade show, forgot to put the word of the month up for a little while. Then they did, it was up, but then we didn't do the show last week. So I hope that people remember, this goes on every month.
Every month. We give away a lamp. Come on.
A lamp every month. Thing is, and there's people that we can call, but we don't know if they don't know the word. And if you don't know the word, you just need to go over to the Instagram of Illuminar Lighting and check out they have the word of the month on some of their posts, and they gives them the traffic and also lets you check out their shit and see what they've got. Their IL8's awesome. I've seen plants with only 3 of those on the bar, and it's still crushing, and you're like, wow, that's pretty fucking good. I'm pretty impressed, because before you had to pack it all in with LEDs, and then you have all this heat generated off those coming off the drivers, and you'd be like, it's kind of anticlimactic with this shit's not going to get hot thing when your whole room's hot because the fucking got 200 little drivers in the room. You know what I mean? It was kind of a dumb design. Now they're getting it dialed in, and I think within the next few years, LEDs will definitely probably overtake all the other lights, just on the economic factor, and also the ability to not have all this hardware above your head. Because when you actually see a room with it, like the one over at your guys' place, I was looking at that, I was like, fuck, that is not a lot of light considering the size of the plants and total openness, and there's nothing in the way, which is some of the problem.
They're racing towards efficiency right now, because my prediction is that California is going to ban HID illumination. I mean, it's too expensive to run. What is it? Sodium vapor metal halide convert about 40 to 60% of their energy straight to infrared. So it all goes to heat. It's ridiculous. They're inefficient lighting sources. They produce great plants, but we need LED to catch up to it so that we can save all that money, save the environment, save the planet, and move on. And we're going to cut some cake soon, too.
Look at it. Oh.
Yeah. You should look at that, Mark. You're in trouble.
No, look at the message I just sent.
Look at the message.
It's a name on there, too. Name and thing. So.
There you go.
Okay, just making sure you got it right.
And then there'll be a new, and then you must know the word of the day. Word of the month.
It's not the day,
Word of the
because that would
month.
be a lot of shows.
Yeah, that would
means
suck.
we would be on show 4,000 and something by now. So
You want me to read the email that we?
Yeah.
no, let's
Okay.
let's give it a second and explain the whole concept. So
Let's
the
do
people
this.
who haven't done it yet can actually do it for next week, because this is
next month.
Oh, sorry, next month. Yeah, see, I'm even confused.
I fucked you up.
You motherfucker. Okay, so word of the month is you going over to check out it on Instagram, on their Illuminar Instagram, and then
At Illuminar Lighting.
at Illuminar Lighting. But also the most important part is writing us a letter, like old school. Could be paper, that'd be cool, but just go
No,
online.
it should be an email.
It'd be cool though. We could get some fucking
Nobody's going to open up a
some
letter.
scribble ribble chicken scratch
I think it
from
has
all these growers.
anthrax
I
in it.
haven't seen a grower yet who has good handwriting. I think D Money's the only guy I know who's got good handwriting, and that's about it. The rest of them, I think, are all like.
He's really weird, though, man. So
He's a really weird guy. That guy. Fuck.
he's on the spectrum.
No,
I'm
but
pretty sure.
he's got good handwriting. But for the most part, I very rarely find any grower that I can read their tags or any of the things they try to give me and be like, what the hell? God, we are terrible at it.
Mr.
And I'm in
McFlix-a-Flix.
there. I'm in there. I have mine is good for about 10 minutes and then I'm done. Toast. Can't write anymore. Like I've lost the ability to pull it off. But the guys over at Luminar, just like I said, if you want anything, doesn't matter if it's large scale, small scale, just get in touch with them. Tell me what the done deal. I've heard some people getting, like, especially on the bigger facilities, that's when the done deal starts to get real interesting. Cause
Right.
now we're saving
7,000 lamps.
tens of
Mark and I were
thousands,
there.
if not fucking more, in savings. Amazing. But you want to get this light, you just basically send us a little message sending to info@AdamDunn.show saying, hey, I am living in the streets in a box, but I want to grow weed.
Stealing power from the
And
neighbor.
I'm stealing power from the neighbors. I got it all set up. All I need is that light. And we'll be like, no problemo. And it'll be like, send it to this fucking parking lot over here. And like, we actually need a phone number. That's the most important part.
Right.
The sending,
We have to call you.
We'll always figure out how to send it to you. If we have to get it to you in a cardboard box on the side of the street, we will do it. And then that could be possible.
You can come
But
pick it up from a super secret location that we'll give you later if you know the code
no,
word.
if you were here locally, but no, these aren't even coming from here. This is coming direct
I
from the man
know.
himself, from Scott over there at Illumina. He's like waiting patiently right now with a pen. Who am I sending this to? And then it's bam, it's off to you. And it's a 315 ceramic metal halide, perfect for a tent or starts or. A lot of times people haven't even checked out that technology, so it'll kind of get you to understand, like, this is an LED. And the LEDs are great, but the ceramic metal halides are kind of like an in-between technology, which really makes you kind of like, it's very close to the original way of growing, but the plants come out a little terpier and a little bit, it's like kind of more compact and stuff. So
Terpier.
it does. They
I
do.
like that
I
word.
swear. Without even knowing what you're doing, you all of a sudden get like, hey, how come you're growing terpy weed? It's like, I don't know, because these lights are just not that hot and they work really good. And it's like, fuck, okay.
Dig it.
So it's a good upgrade for a lot of people. But you tell us why you like it. Leave a phone number. If we find your thing interesting, we'll give you a call, and hopefully you'll answer. And if you do answer and you're down and you win, then just get back to us later and show us what you did, because that's the best part. Is that since it's a monthly gig, every 3 months or so, we should be seeing the next one coming up.
Well,
And
I've been on the show long enough and been asking for
I know,
people
so
to
I'm
send in their
out.
photos, and they're
That's
not sending
why-
them in.
that's
So come
why.
on.
Now Mike's definitely going to send one in when he's ready. But
When he's ready.
Send. Well, if you've got something ready, share it with us. I'd really like to see it.
But he only won like about a month ago, right?
Yeah, no, yes.
It's been Mike. It's been Denver. It's been Mike Denver month. He's been winning everything. It's
Yeah.
like he's the big winner. He living off the Adam Dunn show. Just like,
You can too.
see, if you live in a box and you win enough stuff from the Adam Dunn show, you might sustain. This could be your
start a
sustenance.
commercial grow.
This could be your sustenance right there.
And who knows? We might have a new sponsor on too, who might want to do a little giveaway every month. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Focus V product Carta, we can add a little something else to the mix here too.
That's coming up soon, right?
Oh, well,
don't
we're
know.
going to see.
We don't know.
Matt
We don't
loves
know
us.
nothing.
We hear yes. We
we'll
hear
see.
no. We don't know.
We're in discussions here.
Well,
we're in
but,
discussions.
I mean, after seeing the fucking Yoda Carta,
I know. Look at
there's-
that.
There's no way they're going to say no.
Matt and Ben,
like-
if you guys are watching, I'm sure Mark is tagging this left and right on Instagram.
It's nuts.
I mean, it's almost a functioning cake carta. I think we can dab out of it.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
It's very tight, especially the glass top. I'm like,
Yeah.
It's
that's
sugar.
incredible.
It's spun sugar.
I'm so overly impressed with the top.
Yeah, I saw the silicone molds for that and everything. I was like, wow.
Check this out.
That's
I
highly
mean,
impressive.
It's edible.
Look, Yes, it is edible.
Look at
Crazy
that.
shit,
Look at that. The talent.
come on.
Come
Wait,
on.
Hold on. Got to put this on top.
100%.
Right? Come on, guys.
Dude,
We need you guys on board.
Come on. Now,
If otherwise, I'm going to be calling the company on the other end of the table over there that you see.
Oh, don't do
to
it.
get
don't
them
do
in.
it. Don't do it.
Incredible cake, man.
We'll cut that in a minute. Let's give away a lamp.
Okay, let's give away a lamp. Hopefully, we'll get an answer, and then we'll turn into a.
While the
fucking-
phone's ringing, I'll start cutting.
Really?
All right. Do you want me to read?
That's going to be like sidetracking everybody.
All right, I won't sidetrack.
Don't sidetrack.
you want me to-
I broke another fucking rule.
You know
his
when
birthday,
you.
though.
I don't care.
No,
I don't give a fuck.
Fucking, he doesn't care.
No, not at all. The rules are getting laid down. No, I know.
Lay
him.
down the rules.
He will. The head will fall off. It's going to turn into mayhem, and we're not going to listen
mayhem.
to our hopeful winner. We got the winner. We're going.
Yeah. Do you want me to read the
Oh, yeah.
email?
Read it.
Alrighty. Hi, ads. I am seeking.
See, it's almost like going.
Oh,
right
you sure you don't want me to read that?
What?
I'm getting good.
I am seeking all the help I can with the first-time farming attempt in Florida.
First time.
Lux.
First time, Florida.
Yep.
Got to get the details here.
As a single mom of a 22-year-old with Lyme disease, we are planning our
Disease?
birdseas after meeting James of Seeds Here Now at a trade show in Miami. He provided us with several great contracts and seeds for our mission, and he was loaded with amazing information and told us about this show. After reviewing and learning all we can on growing, we found out that it's expensive and a very involved mission, but we're determined. All we need is a light and a tent.
Ooh, and a tent.
And
Oh,
a
geez,
tent.
it's getting Deanie
Next
over
time
here.
you read those, take the marbles out of your mouth.
All right. What? He sounded great. What? That was
kidding.
professional.
That was fantastic.
That was professional.
We're
All right. So
gonna-
wait a minute. Single mom,
Give her the lamp.
Florida.
Please answer the phone.
Daughter's got Lyme disease. Trying to grow. Okay, we're just trying to get it all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we picked it. All
Cool.
right.
Can we give her 2 lamps?
No.
Why not?
Alrighty. Let's give her.
No, but we need to find a tent. So if anybody out there wants to donate a tent to, or I don't know, just maybe there's somebody out there be like, I
Maybe
got
someone wants
No,
to
if you have a
donate
tent you're not using
with
right
no
now, maybe
russets
send
in
an
it.
email.
No russet mites, please. I don't want your
Aye,
old
aye,
russet
aye,
tent.
aye,
Oh,
Yes.
We can't start our
We're
off on
getting
the back foot.
Avery a call here.
Okay.
All right, answer the phone, Avery. Come on. I think she's going to win anyway. We got to let her win.
No, we can't.
Hello.
Hey!
Oh, hello there. So who-
Hello.
is this Avery on the line? Hello.
Avery?
Yes.
Yes, this is Adam Dunn.
Yes.
Adam Dunn show calling. We're calling you
my gosh.
because we got your letter, or is it a letter these days? I don't know. Message.
You sent an email.
Message.
in.
I got your message in a bottle here, and we are ready to give you a light, but we got to hear that word of the month.
You're live on the air,
Lux?
by the way.
What?
Lux.
Lux.
Ding,
Dun,
ding,
dun,
ding,
dun,
ding,
dun,
ding,
dun,
ding.
dun, the winner.
Dun, dun, dun,
No,
dun,
because
dun.
I put it in the email, but I wasn't sure if it was right or how to do it.
Ah, well, there you go. Well, that's
You were right.
Luckily, we got you on the right week, and it didn't turn into next week, and then you would have been like, wrong
Oh
answer.
my God, you guys are awesome.
Oh, so
I've been playing Fantasy 5 lottery every week, trying to win money to get that light.
Well, we
that's-
also put the word out for your tent, too. So if
Oh yeah, I put
anybody
the word. I
sends a
put the
note
word
in-
on the line on the air that if anybody's got a tent,
Oh.
then we can donate it.
Oh,
to- and
because
then- yeah.
I had a tent and I lent it to some like a smoke shop for an event.
What?
And the wind came and destroyed it.
Oh,
and then I
my
didn't know how
God.
much they were cost.
Now we got to
And I
find.
went to replace it, and I was like, "Oh my Jesus, that's really high."
Okay, well there you go. Now we need to
Yeah.
find a replacement tent for the blown away tent. All right. Well, we'll see.
I know.
We'll,
Did
we'll get.
something good.
Stranger things have happened.
We're gonna get your info, and then we're gonna give it to Scott, and then Scott's gonna send you the light, and in the meantime, maybe magically somewhere in between, it'll happen. So.
And
cool.
someday when you take a
Oh my
harvest,
gosh,
send us
you
a photo.
guys are so amazing because the guy we met that gave us the seeds, he told us so much stuff I couldn't remember half of it. But I tried to find Adam Dunn, and all I kept finding was a baseball player. So I thought he was a baseball player that grew weed.
So there you go. And luckily, I can grow weed better than I play baseball. Well, actually, I was pretty good at baseball. I had one trophy when I was a kid. So
Ooh.
I did. I was really, but I was a good fielder. I was a good, I was Mr. Clutch. They call me.
I'd pay to watch Adam
Mr.
play
Clutch.
Well, the
baseball.
only other Adam Dunn, he chewed bubble gum. You created it.
They, oh,
Right? Huh, how about that one?
nice. Working angles here. All right. Well, thanks for the letter. That was awesome because usually when we do not usually we've had a few that we've been smooth, but a lot of times we get it where it's fucking like really hard to get through to stoners during the show. 'cause
Yeah, you were great.
They're not paying attention. So, luckily, did you listen to the show earlier or no, or were you just happened to be?
Yes, I did, and I
Okay.
saw where you were supposed. You asked people to write a letter.
Yeah, of course. Well,
And
that's,
my daughter, the other day, she asked me how to address an envelope because she's never sent a real letter. She
my
didn't know how to make an
God.
envelope.
Holy.
oh my God.
I didn't even think of that. Holy. that
Holy-
is-
Bring back a whole
Didn't
new,
even know.
She was like, "Where do you put the stamp?" And I did
Yeah.
the whole thing with her. They don't teach that anymore in school.
That's sad. Sad state of affairs here in America where kids don't even know how to send a letter anymore. Well, luckily you got through to us, we got through to you, and we'll get you that light, get you on the road. Okay.
Oh, we're so excited.
Cool.
We're looking for a strain that worked really well for her and a number of other
All right,
patients.
Lyme disease.
And it was called Harlequin.
Oh, okay, no, it's
Did you
not.
ever find any info?
Okay, well, that is definitely around here in clone form. I don't know. There's people who've done seeds. I don't know if how that would work as far as the work, but definitely it's available. So we'll see if we can get you the access to that. So sounds good.
Oh, you're awesome. Thank you so much, guys.
All right, thanks.
I really enjoyed listening to you, and it's really been a pleasure learning all about your contacts and the
Nice.
passion and your
Cool. Well,
everything. It's very interesting.
all right. Well, cool. Well, thanks for participating and getting the done deal, and we will get that out to you as soon as possible. We'll get the info to the guys, and they'll get that out to you.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh,
Sounds
happy
good.
Friday.
All right.
Bye.
Peace.
Cake time.
Cake time. Bum, bum,
Everyone wants
dun, dun.
cake.
That's why everyone's here. Look at, they're all like cake, 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 cake. But we gotta get. Okay, wait. Can't
Whoa,
you
what?
Can't you zoom
What's
in?
happening?
I mean, he's gonna cut the cake, so you might want to get.
He's already cutting it. What do you mean?
Get in there with some better angles and stuff. Let's get some super angle. Angles on the screen. Let's get in there. Let's do it. Overhead shots. I want to see some serious. Yeah, there we go. Oh,
I'm not going to cut into Yoda right now. I'm just going to cut into the
What?
cake. I can cut into Yoda if you want. Usually people start screaming.
Oh, that's the whole point. People want to see.
Yeah, we want to see the head cut off. That's what I want to see.
Oh, head. What are we doing? I mean, you might as well just decapitate him straight out of the gate. I mean, like samurai sword or something. Like, I mean, this is your moment to wait. Hold on.
I don't want to decapitate you.
So how many people we got here? What are we doing? Gonna just who gets the head? Who gets the head? Who gets the head?
Who cares? Let's eat some cake. Take some photos. Listen, this is why I was saying I'll just cut into here right now, and then we can take some photos with it later.
Do it. Oh,
Art to eat cakes.
hard to eat.
Art to eat.
That's like hard to eat. It's a terrible name. Dun, dun, dun. Wow.
Nice.
Very impressive, I'd have to say, though. That's a huge piece, dude. Who do you think that's going to
I'm
get?
just going to move it aside so you
Wow.
can see that it's cake.
Armor plated outside there. That's like,
that.
look at that. Look.
Beautiful cake.
So that is a
Dun,
French
dun.
buttercream recipe. It is a traditional chocolate cake. You should love it. I mean, it's going to be fantastic. Art2eatcakes.com. Take a look. You got a wedding, an event, cannabis experience, something you want treasured in cake. If you can envision it, we can make a cake out of it. So, I mean, look at this carta. That is literally, she made a mold of the carta top, poured sugar into it. If you see, it even has the interior bubble of the carta,
That's awesome, dude.
you know.
That's super cool.
So whatever you want. She's done cakes for Crosby, Stills, and Nash, Blues Traveler, String Cheese Incident, Tedeschi Trucks, Cirque du Soleil. Shit, she even did one for a Native Roots party, made a huge bud cake. Don't ask her to make it infused. It's not going to be infused. It's going to be regular cake that you can share with everyone.
Just spray it
Eat
with
Incredibles edibles if you
Inject
want to
it.
get high. But that's the cake right there. That it should be hashtag Stoned Yoda if you're gonna
Nice.
post it. So we figure Stoned Yoda would be one that wasn't taken already. So we hope so. There you go.
Oh yeah, we got to do. So we had a birthday, and in the industry we had a loss this last week. So we have to
Take a moment.
Take a moment there for Subcool. Obviously, lots of people in this chat not a big fan of Subcool, but he did do a lot as far as he put a lot of energy, put the book out, which is hard. Making a book, anybody who makes a book, they got a little passion there, and he did a good job with that as far as showing people. Like, it's funny how things progress so fast that you look at certain things and then you forget that they did all the other stuff. So he definitely, made a mark in the industry. A lot of people use his genetics. And none of them are really his, and we know that. So, but whatever. At the end of the day, didn't really matter. No, that was the whole problem. Is that he was more of the organizer, and he got, he made the TGA crew gel as far as he brought everybody together. And at the end of the day, he had Sonny, and he had Odie, and he had all these great breeders, and like Jinx Proof and all these people that actually put out really good product. So, he did have a good. And the thing is, I think a lot of what people don't realize is. With cannabis, it's a lot like like if you're a DJ and you have good music selection, you bring the music to the people get to appreciate that music because you brought it to them. You didn't make the music, but you brought the music to them. And it's kind of like that when you're in that kind of realm where you're not necessarily growing all the things that you are bringing to the masses, but you are good at selecting either the people that do a good job and or have a good nose for what's going on. So obviously, and he had a bunch of conditioning. People wonder, wow, what's going on? I mean, he had like a genetic emphysema, so that was a kind of an issue. COPD, yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, well, that's how he died, but the reason was because of the other genetic issues that he was dealing with. So he'd been ill for a while. And that's the thing is, again, another guy who obviously had some pain issues. And that's when he's smoking stuff that other people might think is too strong for them. And again, like locked in because of having a condition, you get like really tuned into quality. Like, what other people would just see as like super high quality when it comes to effect, and for you, it's just enough to cut the pain. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, some people who need it like that do good by helping other people, like guide people towards that quality medicine. So shout out to Subcool. I mean, like again, we didn't get along that great, but I had him on my show, and I got on his show, and we went over the bullshit because our thing was just on not knowing each other and basically, other people talking shit. So it's kind of the classic. But shout out to him, and we'll eat a piece of cake here for you.
And shout out to Mark sitting right here.
Yep.
If you need an MMJ evaluation, you need just help with, you're not happy with your current medical treatment of what you're going through, pick up the phone and give him a call. If he doesn't have an answer, he'll refer you to a physician who does.
And we'll do a done deal.
Nice.
Sweet.
So now you have a way to get the done deal done here, done right.
Sweet.
Done anytime you want.
Yeah, man.
Hopefully. And we're definitely going to cut into Yoda. Don't worry. I want the hand. You got to give me his hand.
All right, you got it.
Because that'll look cool, cutting the hand off. That'll be like Star Wars-esque, too. So it's like a little bit combining characters.
Wrong character, but okay.
I know, we're combining characters, but who gives a fuck?
Well, the other big discussion right now is Baby Yoda. Is he the son of Yoda? Is he a clone of Yoda?
No, he's Yoda as a baby.
No, it's not, because this actually, the Mandalorian takes place 80 years or 60 years after Return of the Jedi, so it can't be.
No, that's not going to make sense.
But there was a video, like in one of those shots that they made, there was another Yoda species person, so maybe they had a baby. You never know. We're accepting your theories at theadamdunnshow.com for Baby Yoda or Yoda.
Chop his head off.
All right,
Just
hand
for the camera.
Chop the hand.
Do it. Your wife's telling you to cut the. She's telling you to cut Yoda.
She is?
Yeah, she was like,
cut it, damn it.
Where's it at?
Oh, going straight for the jugular.
Oh,
Look at
gosh.
this.
Cut Yoda. Cut his shoulder off.
Straight. Oh, yeah, you got to kind of like go slight. You're just
Like
going.
Al-Qaeda.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Hand. Oh, get your hand away from his hand. Go. Yeah, there we go. Let's see that get cut. Oh, Jesus. There we go. Oh, my God. The whole arm came off.
Look at that.
Oh, the hand. The hand. The arm. Oof.
Wow.
Nice, dude.
Wowzers.
Get some
Oh, yeah.
plates.
Put it
Someone
on a
grab
plate.
a plate for him. If we
Plate.
can get
It's
it
behind.
over there.
Over there. Under here. Behind. Yeah. Get that. Turn. Oh.
Wow.
Look at that.
Jesus.
All right, I'm going for the. Here comes the head, guys.
Ah.
You get one shot at this
Piece
one.
of cake, man.
There is one
Now
support
that's like
in the head.
2 pounds of marzipan on that cake.
No marzipan.
No, what is that outside stuff? Sugar, just straight
Whoa.
sugar. Just
There
straight
can
sugar.
be only
We're gonna
one.
get thrown off of YouTube for this, dude.
Oh, head got. Hold it up. Hold it up
With
by the
his
stick.
spine and everything.
Hold it up by the stick. Oh, jeez. Let's see. You're not in the camera now.
You're not in the camera. There you go.
Oh man.
Nice.
And I got the hand here. So there we go. Look at that. Oof. Oh,
Nice, dude.
Nice.
Come have cake, everyone.
Everyone else, yeah, start cutting this. Cut this bastard up. Carta. I don't know. We have to keep the Carta.
Yeah, keep the card.
Keep the Carta.
Keep the
Because we
Carta.
might have to replace it if they don't want to sponsor.
No, keep the Carta. We can put that on as we can keep it as a prop when we'll have it as our mini prop. We can put characters and
I
whatever.
just cut my face in half.
Look at you.
That's you're supposed to let me do that.
Go right ahead. There's more.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Chat Gang. Thanks. Shout out to all the sponsors. Shout out to my beautiful wife, Cece, and little Nick, staying home in the snow today. Lucky little bastard. He has so many Legos. It's fucking unbelievable, dude. Like, he got like a big pile from JW, and he had his own.
Yeah.
And he poured it out today on the fucking thing. I'm going to send you a photo.
Oh,
You
I'd
just-
step on him.
It's like, hell, this is the biggest. If you want to, if you're worried, if you're scared of Legos, you would. You
Chat
would be
Gang wants Dr. Mark's number again, or like somehow to get a hold of him.
Medicinal mindfulness.
Medicinal mindfulness.
Yeah, look us up online.
Put the website up again, I guess, or send it out in the chat room that it can be copied. We'll put it up there for everybody.
And this is like him. This is to throw that photo up as a final photo. He'll be happy because he'll be like, "Yeah, you put me up again." And CPA will be there, like, "You have Legos, so many Legos. This is dangerous."
No, all his friends will know they have Legos, so they all listen to the show.
They all do. Actually, no, he's my best little advertiser because he goes around to all the teachers and tells them to listen to the show. And I'm like, it's the worst show you should ever tell any. No, don't tell your fucking teachers to listen to my show. Jesus. Oh, I told the principal, told everybody, I was like, oh my God. So anyway, but you got that thing? You throw it up there?
I threw it up there.
Throw up
awesome.
rtecakes.com too.
Nice.
Yeah, I did.
He poured that out today. I'm like, damn, you.
Is that it, right?
Yep,
This
that's
kid
it.
has a lot of fucking Legos. So
Thanks,
shout out to Little Nick. Shout out to A Stump the Farm. And shout out to everybody who in the chat gang. See you guys next week.
Thank
Where's
you,
that
guys.
Lego? I don't see it, but whatever. It's there, right? They're going to see it?
What?
They'll
They're
see it.
They're seeing that Lego. The Legos are there. I don't see
I
it.
know.
It takes forever. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened? You sent me something?
You'll put it up later.
Yes, I wanted you to show the Lego.
The fade out
That
Legos.
was for my kid.
Pay
I was-
attention, Mark.
Oh, it's okay.
Well, I'm trying to. I was writing websites and fucking. Yeah, what the hell?
I'm
What's
do you
a
want me to do it
square
real
root
quick?
of-
I can do it real quick.
Yeah, I was like, just let's see this fucking. I'm showing Legos, bro. This is like serious weed shit.
You texted it to me?
I just did.
Okay.
yes.
Yeah,
I
on the
just did.
phone.
And
Just making sure.
no, but I was like, I was in shock. I was like, motherfucker, do you have more leg? Like, definitely enough to.
There's no max amount of Legos you could own now. You know, I mean, you can
No.
always have more. Somebody could always give him another like 50-gallon bucket of them.
Yeah, I can see this is gonna become an obsession though. There it is.
There we go.
There he is, little Nick.
Sweet.
Shout out to Nick. Shout out to everybody. See you guys next week. Peace.
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 Practically every one of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove. The psychedelic jackets on the record albums have their own hidden.
This is a special question. We don't want you to smoke genetically modified ganja. We want you to smoke the real thing. We want you to smoke the natural herb. Some call it marijuana, some call it sensimedia, some call it lamb's bread, and some people call it ganja.